Nashville Fire Department says its crews quickly reached the scene near I-40.
They were able to extinguish that fire and also preserve the evidence from that scene so that the appropriate agencies can come and investigate what led to this deadly crash.
She tells WTVF all 5 of the victims were on board the plane. The Biden administration is moving to cap credit card late fees at $8. This comes at a time when credit card debt has been soaring, with the ruinous inflation of the past few years forcing so many people to rely on plastic simply to make ends meet. On Wall Street, ahead of this morning's opening bell, stock futures in the red, Dow futures down 144, Nasdaq futures off 120 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
In Serbia, an investigation of what may be the worst ever mass poisoning of birds.
Serbia's Bird Protection and Study Society says it's already found more than 800 dead birds. Most of them are jackdaws, a protected species in Serbia. The society says its members saw birds falling dead from trees next to agricultural fields near the town of Kikinda. The area is known by bird watchers as the world capital of wintering long-eared owls. No birds of prey have so far been found among the dead birds, but the society warns that they depend on jackdaws to make the nests, which they later use to rear their young.
The BBC's Guy Delauny. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for 2 high-ranking Russian military officers and charges linked to attacks on civilian infrastructure in Ukraine, wanted for the war crime of directing attacks at civilian targets, causing incidental harm to civilians or damage to civilian targets. Townhall.com. A raging fire and a series of powerful explosions at a warehouse near Detroit sent people running for cover.
Police in Clinton Township, Michigan, were warning residents of the Detroit suburb to stay inside as a fire at an industrial facility, Select Distributors, sent chunks of charred debris raining down as far as a mile away. Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle says the fire started around 9 p.m. Monday night and is contained. Aerial video from the scene shows bursts of flames going off within a huge orange blaze. Witnesses describe a series of explosions that could be heard from miles away. Kevin Felster told the Detroit News he got out of his car and saw pieces of charred metal from the size of a spray can to that of a car wheel lying on the ground. There were no immediate reports of injuries. I'm Jennifer King.
Texas plans to arrest illegal aliens, order them out of the country, is heading to the Supreme Court. Legal showdown over the federal government's authority over immigration. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes.
Welcome to Tuesday.
The truest of all days.
Cloudy out there?
A little bit.
Relatively decent out today.
Yeah.
Maybe a little breeze.
Kind of breezy out there. It was. It's actually been the last couple of days have been just straight up jacket off weather. Let me rephrase that. Keep the jacket off weather because it hits the ear wrong the other way.
Yeah.
I love the jaws thing together. It always gets me. But yeah, you don't necessarily need a coat.
Correct.
How can I just say coat?
You don't need long sleeve apparel.
Yes. Sleeve t-shirt season is officially almost over.
Almost. Although I wear them longer than I should.
Mm-hmm.
I do, because I like them. So.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of long sleeve tees, 100%.
Yes, and as I get older, I find them more and more appealing. So. But yeah, happy Tuesday.
Yes.
And yeah, you'll start with a coat, leave it in the car by midday probably. Here,
it's the dress in layers thing, the New Mexico dress.
That's right. Well, I know we say that here. That's just done everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just more layers. When you go to the East Coast, you're still in layers. You're wearing your long johns and your other thing and this, that, and you know.
But you're wearing extra layers. Here you're taking off layers. You're wearing layers to take off.
Some of the layers are still fashion choice.
Those layers are pretty required in certain parts of the world.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, your layers here can be fashion choice, whereas there it's needed for warmth.
Right.
But, you know, although...
especially in a time of year like this where it's planned for any weather, you should probably put a poncho on over your hoodie, or over a coat that's over a hoodie, that's over a T-shirt, and then you should be fine.
We're all going to look like Ralphie's younger brother in A Christmas Story. Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah.
But happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great Tuesday thus far. We got a full slate for you for today's show.
Indeed.
I thought there's still rain chances at the end of the week, which makes me happy. Someone's got a motorcycle.
Dang.
Oh, I wanted to punch a guy yesterday. Yesterday, I was sitting at a traffic light on Main Street, and it was around lunchtime. And I'm sitting there stopped, and a motorcycle, crotch rocket, gets into a turn lane to turn right to go down off the highway. And that wiseacre, I was sitting there just in my own little head at the light there. He got right by me, and as he went by me, he gunned that engine. And I'm pretty sure I let loose a little. It scared the living daylights out of me.
It's wholly unnecessary.
Yeah.
You do not have to be the loudest thing on the road.
Yeah, and he gunned it right there. And I was like, I wanted to, it's like, man, I want to throw something at him. I was just so mad because he was off around the corner. He was just trying to look cool, being,
of course,
doing what they do.
Jerks. I'll do you one better. This is, and it doesn't happen as much here in Roswell. I've gotten it at least twice in Artesia. I'll be at a stoplight.
Yeah.
And next to me will be just more truck than any human being could possibly ever need.
Right.
And then light turns green. Next thing I know, homeboy's rolling coal next to me. And I have my window down. So I'm just breathing in smog air.
Yeah, and your car's right at tailpipe level.
It's exactly, especially those tailpipes.
Especially the trucks. And I have a theory about people who have
those trucks. Oh, I do too. Those trucks that look like they fuel themselves off of my car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a theory about them too. But
yeah, I do too. Bigger the truck, smaller the situation.
Not what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all figure out the rest.
And that's why I drive a subcompact. Because if the inverse of that is also true, sup, ladies?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Some guy with a chain over his truck. Hey!
Some guy comes in with a smart car. It's like, my whole game. Dude rides in on a unicycle, that homeboy.
Ladies.
Mm-hmm.
But let me give you the rundown of today's show. Actually, we're gonna have a pretty cool thing here. Geneva Martinez with the Many Hands and the Gonzalez Warming Center.
Yep.
Is going to join us with a young lady named Michaela Juarez, and she's started on her own a food pantry box there at the Gonzalez Warming Center.
Really?
So she's going to join us, talk a little bit about it this morning, and I'm assuming it's the box is now open yet. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out.
We'll get the word from
Michaela and Geneva here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, normally we have the Walker Aviation Museum join us in the 7, but because we had the young lady here, Robert couldn't make it in today, so he asked us to play their interview from last time they were here, which turns out was January, because February is when we had the weather when they were here and they couldn't make it. So we'll play their last interview from January here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we're going to have the folks from VFW Post 12184 here in Roswell join us. They've got their second annual golf tournament coming up here in a few short months.
It is tournament season. Tis the season.
Tis the season. So they'll be they want to invite people to come be a part of the tournament and sponsors and have another big success for their second annual golf tournament. So
I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say on this thing, but I was recently offered the chance to go up in a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Not 100% sure how I feel about that yet, because there's most of me is screaming no.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that I even work on the second floor of a building is too high already.
He's like, I like this.
So, but then there's that little 7-year-old boy inside me that's like, you kind of want to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be kind of fun.
Personally, I've never been in a helicopter either. I've been in airplanes and all that, but I've never, even in the military, I never worked on helicopters.
See, and that's crazy that you've never been in a helicopter.
I've never been in a helicopter. So I would do it to say...
Just for the story?
Just to say I've been in a helicopter.
I'm sure it's safe.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's safe.
Think about it.
But
thousands of helicopters go up every day. We don't have incidents.
Right.
As far as modes of motor vehicles... cars are way more dangerous than airplanes or helicopters.
And I understand science, lift versus rotation drag and all that nonsense, but you are defying God when you put that much weight in that much sky. I digress.
Would you go in a blimp?
Oh, okay. The order of things that I will not go into: hot air balloon, top of that list.
Okay.
I will not let a little bit of wicker separate me from terra firma.
I've almost gone. I'm a little scared. You're right. I'm the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm floating up in the air, and the only thing separating me from falling is 3 inches of wicker.
Is the same thing people carry their picnics in?
Yeah. No, thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you, but at the same time, I think I got to do it one time,
Right.
like sometime.
And the biggest problem with doing any of these things, I watch fail videos.
Yeah.
So I've seen a hot air balloon get drug on the side of a building because it hit an updraft or something,
Well, and I ain't gonna lie, every year at Balloon Fiesta, there's always one or two incidents of a balloon hitting something or landing where it wasn't supposed to, or getting involved in some kind of incident.
You know how I know I'm destined for the ground? Sunday I came here to do some work. I had my kids with me, and we were about to cross the road. I parked across the street, and we were talking about the floors of the building. And we were talking about the 5th floor doesn't have a window. And I looked up to the 5th floor, immediately got vertigo.
Yeah, did you?
Immediately. Just for some reason, I'm like, I needed to stop and steady myself for just a second.
I remember
destined for the ground.
When that reminds me of one time I had a similar situation, and I was a teenager. And we were going to Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico. So we're taking our 3-day bus trip out west to New Mexico. It's coming from the East Coast. We stopped in St. Louis for sightseeing. And, of course, we went to the St. Louis Arch, and because that's the one thing everybody knows in St. Louis,
right,
is the Arch. So we went to the Arch, and I went up the Arch, and it was all cool and all that. But I had an idea where I wanted to get right up onto the side of, up against the side of the arch, and then get a camera and take a picture of the arch going in. Kind of a weird, cool photo.
Right.
So I did that, but I remember looking up and doing it. All of a sudden, I'm getting all like.
And bear in mind, that's with a 35 millimeter. That's not with something with a view screen.
Oh, no. That was with the cheapo disposable
I
camera.
didn't want to venture if it was one of those.
You're giving me way too much credit. It was the yellow disposable cameras that you get at Walmart.
There's a whole generation that doesn't know the joy of click, roll. And not knowing what you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's the blind bags of yesteryear.
Yes.
Is getting your pictures developed.
Yeah, and you got a satchel full of disposable cameras.
Look, here's my thumb at the Eiffel Tower.
Right? Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of those. You should see my Australia pictures from when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
No, those were actually with a camera and 35 millimeter film. They were like, you're going to Australia. We'll give you a real camera for that one.
Go ahead.
And to be honest, that was 87. I don't think the disposable camera was a thing yet.
Maybe not.
When that happened.
My parents gave me 3 disposable cameras when I went to Romania.
Yeah.
That's how enjoy your trip.
Well, I had about, what happened was I had about 12 rolls of film. I guess I forgot them.
Oh, man.
I realized when I landed in Hawaii that I needed rolls of film. Don't buy rolls of film in Hawaii or anything for that many.
Eggs.
What would it cost about $20 in here would cost me about $50 in Hawaii. And so yes, I had to get new film, but I had to shell out like $50 for money in film. And but yeah, if you go through my stack of pictures, I would say 20% have a finger or a digit of some kind somewhere. Some it's more prominent or more. Prominent in others. Some it's just a hint of a thing, but there's 1 or 2 of a kangaroo, and then there's the big old pink smudge.
Halfway through, you're flipping through, regretting the fact that you paid extra for doubles.
Yeah. And if I remember right, there was one of the pictures that people gave me a hard time for because we were at a petting zoo, and that there was a zookeeper lady that was holding a koala, and we got to hold it and everything. But we're sitting there. She's sitting there with the koala, and I'm a 14-year-old boy. This was a 20-something blonde, very attractive lady, and people were like, I took pictures, supposedly of the iguana, but it's more of the koala, but it's more of her.
Yeah.
They're kind of pictures of her in here.
It was. Here's a picture. Here's a picture I took of a koala and a couple of puppies.
Yeah. I got a little bit of that there. Is my guest here?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Very. They're so quiet. I didn't know if they were here. So good, they are here. Excellent. Well, 7:18. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today, low to mid 70s on the afternoon high and not too windy. That wind will stay at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. A few clouds overnight down to about 40, and then we will have a little bit more cloud cover moving in on Wednesday with a low pressure system crossing our area. No rain though. We'll be in the low 70s on the high, back to sunshine on Thursday and breezy. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 43 degrees. Excuse me. Doing leftovers of the crud. Humidity is at 53%. Winds are currently out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Today looking pretty nice, mostly sunny. Expect a high of 75 today, and winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 41 degrees. Looks like winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Wednesday, another nice day, sunny, partly cloudy actually, 74 for a high, west winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, looking at overnight low of 48 with southwest winds 10 to 15. Winds roll in on Thursday, still in the 70s, sunny 73, but winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour early. Later Thursday, those winds will increase 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear and breezy with an overnight low of 41. And then Friday, we're looking at rain chances, a 30% during the day or for the afternoon on Friday, mostly sunny and 62. 40% chance of showers Friday night, mostly cloudy and 35. And then looking at the weekend, Cooler on Saturday, sunny skies, a high of 57, and then warming back up into the upper 60s, sunny and 67 on Sunday. And then back into the low 70s when you head back to work and school Monday of next week. All right, it is 7:21. Let's get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten. Quick commercial break, and then we'll talk with Malaya and Geneva here on the other side. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,717 head of cattle sold on Monday on the higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold 5 to 15 higher, feeder cattle 3 to 7 higher, packer cows and bulls $3 to $6 higher, 3 to 400 pound steers $3.95, $4.25, 3 to 400 pound heifers $3.45, $3.75, 4 to 500 pound steers $3.30, $3.95, 4 to 500 pound heifers $2.85, $3.45, 5 to 600 pound steers $3, $3.30, 5 to 600 pound heifers $2.58, $2.85, 6 700 pound steers $2.56, $3, 6 700 pound heifers $2.40, $2.58, 700 pound steers $2.37.50, $2.56, 7 800 pound heifers $1.82, $2.40, packer cows $1.08, $1.26.50, canner and cutter cows $90 to $1.05, packer bulls $1.25, $1.41, feeder bulls $1.15, $1.20, cow calf pairs not well tested this week. Top half the bred cows $1,700 to $2,100 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
You've heard of a Four Seasons room, but have you heard of a Four Seasons window? Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing and Windows. It might surprise you to learn many windows are built to handle only the cold or only the heat, but not both. In Southeast New Mexico, one or the other doesn't cut it. That's why Trustmark windows are built to handle our Four Seasons climate. The scorching summers, the bone-chilling winters, and everything in between. Special glass coating blocks extreme UV rays. A stout frame prevents warping from the extreme weather changes. And insulated glass is like putting your home in a giant styrofoam cooler in the winter and keeps cold out and warmth in. And in the summer, it keeps heat out and cool in. For our Four Seasons weather, get Four Seasons windows. Call today for your no-obligation spring window assessment, 575-755-7663, or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Pecos Valley Production is excited to announce their online ordering has never been easier because now you can order from PVP online in Spanish. Simply head for PecosValleyProduction.com and switch the tab on the bottom left of your screen from English to Spanish. Now it's never been easier to get access to the healing and calming products you need simply and affordably. Just log on to PecosValleyProduction.com and switch the tab on the bottom left of the screen from English to Spanish. Pecos Valley Production, dairy to dank since 2016. Must be 21 or over with valid ID to purchase.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, we have Geneva Martinez with our Many Hands organization with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm well.
Well, good. Well, we want to brag on a little girl, but hopefully she'll be here before we get our interview done here. But of course, I guess before we talk about the pantry box and everything with Malaya here, remind folks what Many Hands the organization is, and talk a little bit about the Gonzales Warming Center. I know we've talked about it here on the show, but there might be some listeners that aren't familiar or not fully understanding what that is. So maybe we'll start there and explain that.
Okay. With Many Hands is a grassroots organization. Some people came together and was trying to identify areas that were needed in our community. Mm-hmm. It first started off with recycling. And then it quickly turned into housing.
It evolved.
Yes, pretty much. And we're seeing a housing crisis across, everywhere in the U.S.
Absolutely. Well, and let's face it, Southeast New Mexico, for many years, as long as I've been here, I mean, Roswell's a little better than other parts, but housing cost is at a premium here, for a place that's relatively rural, especially you get like in Artesia and you're like, wow, these house prices are a lot higher than so with that, if you got money, there's plenty of housing, but if you are a middle income or a lower income family, it's very difficult to find a good home in this community that's for sale. I mean, maybe some rentals here and there, and that's even because of the different entities that we have here, government entities that pay a certain per diem for rentals that jacks the price of rentals up. So we really do have a housing issue in Southeast New Mexico, particularly for people with low or low to middle income families.
Yeah, so I dug deep into our housing here, and the majority, 70% of our homes have been built between 1940 and 1980. And so we know the infrastructure with the water pipes right now, how those are having to be replaced.
And that's actually countrywide, nationwide, because a lot of these pipes were put in around the same time, and they're all falling apart at the same time.
Right.
It's just life, So
the quickest way to affordable housing I've found is through home rehabilitation programs.
Gotcha.
And so we were granted $40,000, a one-time grant, to look at different ways to address affordable housing.
Sure.
And so we came up with Nicole Sparka was the one that kind of rolled me back into the housing and working with the homeless population as well. I used to do a lot of outreach when I was with the Homeless Coalition and got that off the ground. But we ended up rehabbing 4 homes.
Think of it kind of like you've probably heard of Habitat for Humanity. That's a very big organization. This is kind of a little in that same vein, whereas it's a sweat equity for folks where you have. But I guess the
is the property owner.
The property owner is basically you help them make properties that are barely habitable or not habitable, and rehab them and make them livable, nice homes again.
Right, and we do is
our young ladies here.
I think so.
Yeah.
So what we also do is we work with the property owner to rehab the home. And in lieu of paying us back that money that we loan them, they lower their rent to fair market value.
Exactly. So it's a win-win. The property owner basically gets something more valuable and usable and in income because now they have a tenant. And now a person that could not previously have a home has a nice home at affordable rate and can kind of use that as their springboard to wherever they want to go next.
Yeah. So with that $40,000, we, spent that money. But it was a proof of concept that this will work. And Dan Jennings, myself, and Jesse Hernandez were able to identify a $500,000 grant through MFA that is looking for the same thing.
Good deal.
An idea outside the box. So we applied for that 2 weeks ago, and we'll find out in May. So we have our fingers crossed, and we are very hopeful.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Although we're not supposed to double cross, right? And this is bad. This is good.
Oh, okay.
That's what I heard. Like you can't because that cancels each other out. So you got to do one. That's what I was told. And then something about a penny and something on the shoulder. I don't remember. But anyway, we want to do all those things. But so we can help out with that stuff. So joining us here also in studio is Malaya Juarez. How old are you, Malaya? 15 years old, and she has taken on a project of her own. But before we talk a little bit more about that, I should turn her mic on here a sec. But let's kind of, because we kind of talked about one part of Many Hands and stuff, but we need to get into the Gonzalez Warming Center part 2, because that's kind of where your project kind of kicked in here. So that's one part of what Many Hands does. But the other part is that the organization runs the Gonzalez Warming Center.
Yeah, we help assist Jocelyn actually is one of our
our computer, our one who keeps me on the video side straight. Yeah,
yes, your very own Jocelyn
Yes.
is one of my leaders, team leaders on With Many Hands.
Yeah.
And she had it in her heart to really push for a warming center and to have a conversation with the city. So Enrique and I from Disaster Relief went and talked to the city. We had a couple meetings with them, but it kept coming back to, a nonprofit needs to head it up.
Sure.
And so it kind of just snowballed. The Gonzaleses reached out to Enrique and said that they had this building.
Yeah,
And
it's been a real partnership between the Gonzalez family, Many Hands, Enrique, and other volunteers too, with other organizations as well too. It's really a collaborative effort.
yeah, and so that's kind of where the warming center is now taking, we know the weather is, the temperatures are rising.
But it is New Mexico. Next week it'll be freezing again.
Right. So we do still have some operational days to open up for warming center.
Sure.
In the summer, we're thinking of cooling center when it's over, a certain degree to
Sure.
open up, let people cool down, have a water station, hydrate.
Place to do, to get refreshed and get feeling normal again. Yeah.
And the ultimate goal is that we have a one-stop shop of a resource center.
Yeah, kind of exactly. If you need help with navigating any financial stuff or veterans assistance or any of that kind of thing, anything to help you get into a better situation, that's what eventually the place is supposed to be, is a mecca for people with issues. They can come in and say, hey, I'm homeless, or I'm
near homeless.
Yeah, near homeless or whatever. And there's resources there to help do that. So.
Right. And we know sheltering alone through studies it doesn't solve a problem.
Band-Aids are useful, but we need to fix the problem. We can't just keep putting Band-Aids.
Right. So a one-stop shop will be beneficial to not just those that are experiencing homelessness or near homelessness, but anybody in the community that needs to need help navigating through the system or to services.
Absolutely, because I would even say that this would be great for people. Maybe you have a home, but you have mental health or other those kind of issues, and you're not sure where to find resources for those kind of things. And the Gonzalez Center could be a place, or that's the vision, to be a place where they can give you those kind of answers.
It's kind of like we will be working very closely with 211, but it's like a physical place of 211.
Right.
So
it's the nuts and bolts of that, and seeing it in action here. So,
yes.
So Malaya here is you started a project to be a part of the Gonzalez Warming Center here. One thing that we found very useful, and COVID kind of shown us the way on how useful these are the pantry boxes. There's various churches, organizations around town that have them. Some have come and gone. Some are still there. But you have basically said, Gonzalez Warming Center, they're there for resources. There should be a pantry box there. And so that was kind of your baby, right? This is your project.
Yes. So the Blessing Box has been a project I've been working on for 2 years now.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's even predating the Gonzalez Warming Center here. That just happens to be, there's the perfect spot for it here. So
yes, it actually was. It was actually a blessing that they contacted us about it if we still had it.
Okay.
Because we've been working on it for 2 years. I was planning on doing 2 back-to-back.
Okay.
But because of everything, I didn't get a definite yes because they had to go through the organizations and so many papers.
There's a lot of red tape and protocol to... and I'm sure as 15, you're learning that as you're doing. It's like, man, I got to go to a lot of meetings just to put a box up. Yeah. So what was the inspiration? What made you decide this was something you wanted to take on?
So whenever I was 14 years old, I was still doing a lot of volunteer work.
Okay.
I was doing pageantries, and I wanted to make a platform.
Okay.
And with my platform, it's Simply Smile Volunteering.
Gotcha.
It's simple.
So it's really through your pageant work that kind of opened your eyes to needs like this, and you said, "Hey, I can use my platform, pageant work, and because you put the spotlight on yourself a little bit through pageantry." And I say, "I'm going to use this to help other people," and that's kind of what you taking it and run with it kind of thing.
Yes.
Pretty cool. So does that mean like your crown has to be made of something not as shiny because it's got to be, 'cause you don't want to mess it up. You got to, if you're going to be doing work, you got to get like do you have a work crown and a show crown?
More like a show crown and a working halo.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if you had like aluminum foil one for, if you had to do hard work and didn't want to get messed up, and then we'll keep the nice one in the box. But, but that's awesome that you get. So let me ask, what's your, you're only 15, so you got the whole world ahead of you here. What are your goals in life? What are you wanting? Are you wanting to take this and run with it, or do you have other dreams?
So it's actually funny. I'm actually 16.
Okay.
Yes, that's my
Someone
fault.
told me 15. Hey, that's right. You told me you were 15.
Sorry, that's not my fault. It was too early in the morning. I'm still working on my number.
Well, I'm sorry. You're much older now. I'm sorry. 16.
Yes,
Never mind.
year.
You're a grizzled veteran. So you're only 16. You do have the world ahead of you.
Yes.
What's your goals? What's your dreams?
So I actually want to be a photographer and run my own business in the future.
All right.
I want to keep working on volunteer work. It's been since I was 6 years old. I've been working with volunteer work with Girl Scouts. Then I went to pageantry. Then it's just always been like a part of me that I just have to do it now.
Okay.
It's in my system.
Are you a recorder of history? Like, does that as a photographer, sometimes they always have a camera and they're always photographing whatever's in the moment there. Are you one of those type of people that like to do that sometimes, where you just, I'll take the camera and see what the world gives me today?
You have albums.
I have lots
She's
of
being bashful.
albums.
So the answer is yes, she's being a little modest about it.
Yes.
Well, everyone that's photographers, that's their passion, So that's really cool. I would imagine because of your volunteer work and everything, I feel like there's almost a way to do your passion and use it as a platform to do like at the Gonzales Warming Center. Obviously there's a lot of privacy and issues that you don't, but there might be some great opportunities to use your photo talents and showcase what the work that's going on there, and you know what I mean. And I think that's I think maybe something, who knows, with your photography one day you take it down and do you want to be one of those people that's like on National Geographic and you're like in Africa taking pictures of some crazy safari stuff or some tribe of people that don't adjust to society or something like that? Do you want to do that kind of stuff, or where do you want to take it? I'm just curious.
More just like modeling wise. I've always seen a picture for that.
Okay. So you want
I think
give
I'm
me
a little
sexy.
scared to travel too far.
You want give me sexy and that's it. I'm spent. That kind of thing.
Yes.
All right, I got you. Sorry, I watched too much Austin Powers.
No, you're okay.
You probably don't even know what that is. She's only 16. It's a funny movie your parents like.
Yeah. I watched it with them.
There you go. So now what's do you want to keep doing this with more boxes and things? Is that something you want to do? Obviously you're 16 and now you're hitting a part in your life where college and all these other things are going to enter. So that's going to add to your busy schedule here as we get in the future. But what do you want to keep doing this kind of stuff with, maybe throwing some more of those boxes around town and getting them where they're more kind of more convenient for everybody?
Yes, I would actually love that.
Okay.
If any businesses want to reach out, I'm glad to make one. Because this is our second one in Roswell now.
Good deal.
All the other ones pretty much went down.
Yeah.
So this is our second one. We only have 2 in Roswell, so I'd love to try to put out more.
So it's time to beef the supply back up here.
And they made it out of stainless steel. This
one's a more stout.
Yes. We were there till sundown with the lights on. Installing it, bolting it down to the cement. And so the center is located at 405 East 3rd Street.
Yes, it's right off downtown here.
Right.
So downtown.
Yes. And so I know that her and her mother are stocking it once a week. And you also have a food drive.
Yes, I do. So I'd imagine that scrapbooks and gifts.
Oh, very good.
If you want to
also
drop
downtown?
off food. Yes.
So while you're there,
Main
you
Street.
get some, if you want to do some, now it makes sense you're into photography. It's just all clicked on me. Of course you're into photography.
Yeah.
Ding!
And if any organizations have any food or anything, like if the schools want to hold some food for us, we're down to go and pick up the food from there too. If that's more convenient.
And I guess in theory, could people drop food off at and Imagine That or the Gonzalez Center to make sure it gets into the pantry too, if they want to make donations, or what's the best way to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, with the food rescue and the perishables, they can contact her and she'll can get it to Jocelyn, who is now doing Food Not Bombs, and she's the leader of that. And within a certain amount of time, she gets that food distributed back out into the community. Now, if it's non-perishable items, they can directly go to the box and put in non-perishable items.
So if you got like your beans and rice and canned goods, things like that, you're more than welcome to make a deposit if you want.
But also, Deanie at Imagine That Scrapbook is hosting her food drive. And so that makes it easier for her and her mom to get the food there once a week.
So come on in and do a little shopping, check it out, drop off some can of food or 12 and help out here.
Yeah, it is kind of like the library book thing, or the take what you need, leave a book, take a book. If you need, it's there for the
absolutely.
need.
People, I've seen the one in action at First United Methodist Church. Unfortunately, somebody ripped the doors off of it. But I spend a lot of time there with my American Legion unit, and so there's constantly people come by. They'll come in and say, "Oh, I need a bag of rice," or sometimes people come in and leave a few bags of food or something like that. It's a beautiful thing to happen, and when people. So it's great to see that we're not giving up. We're keeping on that, fighting that, and keep making sure we build them bigger, better, stronger to make sure we keep doing this, because they are really an asset for our community. For some people, they probably can't navigate through their day with enough food unless they're able to have a pantry box or something, something that our community provides, a trip to the community kitchen, whatever. There are so many people that their day is reliant on those blessings from other people. So please, if you have a moment while you're at the grocery store, grabbing one bag of dry beans, grab a second bag. Grabbing a thing of rice, grab a second thing. If you give a little bit of everything. Microwavable can, like if you got the soups and the macs and cheeses in the microwave, take those. Think of things that are easy prep for someone that can just fix something in a microwave. But don't forget some of the staples and stuff too. Your cereals, your grains, your rices, your, things that you can, obviously we can't be putting fresh chicken in these or things like that. But stuff that goes a long way would be great, useful. Canned vegetables, all that stuff would be very useful. So it's all used and needed, and people are very thankful for it. So if you got the time, while you're doing it, and by the way, that'll give you a chance to swing by and see the Gonzalez Center if you have never come and see it. It's a big, amazing facility. There's so much potential there, and I can see because I got a chance to walk through it a week or two ago, and it's a huge facility, and I'm very thankful that the Gonzalez family has partnered with you guys to open their doors to this potential thing, and it sounds like the Many Hands organization here is kind of in the process of there'll be the proprietors of that facility and making sure that these dreams and things we're talking about go to that next level.
Actually, it's like all of our organizations coming together. So it's
just more than Many Hands.
Through Hegerman Forward with Dan. We have another nonprofit called The Hive, and we just yesterday, I think, got our federal tax ID number. So woo!
Good deal. And The Hive is kind of an offshoot of Many Hands, right? It's kind of the next evolution of it.
Right. So the Hive is what. When you think of a hive as a resource center, right? So like we're the facility of the Gonzalez Hope Center and all these different things. So we want to partner with agencies, and we've talked to several agencies already that we feel would make good partners.
Kind of making it that one-stop shop you hope it to be with someday is at the Hive, where all of the resources are collectively together in one location where one can visit. Well, you need a queen bee then for the Hive, right? I'm just kidding.
We got a queen right here.
There we go. Technically we do. And she'll wear her shiny tiara, not the work one.
No, not the work one.
That's right.
I just have to brag on her. Every event that I go to, a lot of events.
Yeah, you're involved in a lot of stuff in town. I know you're always, when there's a community event, there's a good chance that you're there doing your thing at some, Malay is there doing, representing in some way, shape, or form.
I think I have a album, like a Facebook album of like how many times I've ran into her at different events. We always snap a picture together.
Yeah.
Even the parades, those are always fun.
Yes.
She's always glowing. The alien one, so I'm excited.
I'm always on roller skates.
Yes.
You know what you should do? Is since you're a photographer yourself, when you're in the thing and everyone's taking a picture of you, take a picture back of them taking a picture of you. And then you'll have your own collection of pictures of people taking pictures of you.
That would be amazing.
I know
There's
that's
a lot
deep.
of them.
That's deep, but
It's really deep. My mom's going to be in a lot of those.
That's right. But if you're like, here's a picture of them taking a picture of me, that'd be kind of fun, actually. But to me, that's the beauty of photography. You could come and have so much fun with it and turn it into just whatever your vision is. So, very cool. Well, and of course, the Gonzales Warming Center is always taking donations and things. So if you, they can always use things like bottled water, non-perishable food items. I know you can use clothing, but I think you guys are pretty good on clothing right now.
Yeah, we still need blankets and pillows.
Okay, those are more
always
useful. I know, I remember seeing a lot of clothing there, so I think you guys are pretty good on the clothing.
Pretty good
donations.
on the clothing. If you do have clothing, socks.
More the undergarment type
Undergarments,
clothing. Yeah.
yes, very much so, and hygiene items.
Gotcha.
And then we are 100% ran off of volunteers and donations.
Gotcha.
And so
every little bit is used to its fullest extent and very much appreciated.
Yes, very much
nothing
so.
goes to waste. And so let me ask on toiletries and stuff. Do you have a preference on I know if you donate to the refuge, they more like the family size things because in essence all that goes with them when the people kind of get to the point where they're ready to move on from the home, they take these things with them. For the Gonzales Center, are family size more beneficial or travel size, or does it matter? Just whatever.
When we talk about family size, we're talking cleaning supplies. So
Okay.
we're on.
So
top
for
of
that kind of
cleaning.
stuff, we definitely bleaches and your pine soles and all
Yes,
that. Big's better.
But hygiene items, a lot of people that utilize the warming center, they can't take a lot of stuff with them.
So the travel
it's
size
smaller.
are probably. So when you go to box store or whatever, grab a bunch of some little toothpastes and flosses and deodorants and shampoos and what have you. Those are more beneficial for you guys.
Yes.
Now, if you just got regular size, please bring them. And if that's what you have, we'll find use for them somewhere. But if you're shopping specifically to help, grab them travel size things. And
Yes.
I would imagine too, even weirdly enough, the little toothbrush holders and soap holders, those are probably beneficial things for them to keep in their backpacks and things too.
Yeah, and chopstick, because people that
Well, when you're out in the elements and
right.
and you're sucking
Hot
through your
or
mouth
cold.
a lot, you tend to chap up your lips a little bit.
I need some
So
myself.
you get chapstick, or if you want to go fancier with the Burt Bees or whatever it is there, or whatever the Carmex or whatever the fancy. I don't know. I'm a 50-year-old man. I don't know what.
I make my own.
But that kind of stuff is very useful. So socks, underwear, for men and women, children, adults, all of the above. Don't forget, I know we think mostly men when we think of homeless, but it's all. We have young, old, women, men, children,
It was a good
adults.
50-50 utilizing the warming center when we would open. And we average around 15 people, up to 20 people, sometimes down to like 12 people. But average is about 15 people we serve when we open overnight. And it's a good 50-50. It used to be when I first started,
More heavier male, but
it was, very much so.
And we all know that we have an influx of homeless in Roswell over the since COVID. They, whether they bring them in or whatever, we have more homeless.
We should be getting
there.
our numbers end of spring, like almost around summertime.
So demand's getting larger, not less. So unfortunately, that's the need, and so if you do have it in your heart and the time and the means, when you go to the store next time, pick up a few extra items for the Gonzalez Warming Center, and you call them. They'll be, oh yeah, we'll be here. Come on down, or whenever they'll make arrangements, because obviously there's not always someone there. It's a big building, and when there's during the middle of the day when there's no need for people to be there, then there isn't anybody there. So you have to call ahead or shoot through the Facebook or whatever, which you can do. There's a Many Hands. I just type Many Hands Roswell, and it comes right up on Facebook and all that there. So you can like and follow. And then, of course, if you want to get more involved, they're always looking for volunteers and stuff, too. That if, reach out to Jocelyn if you want to help serve on nights that they're opening up the center. They always need more. Those are nights where they need more volunteers to help with just tending to the needs of the shelter, whether it's getting water, servicing some of the folks, or just making sure the lights stay on that night. The help's needed there. So please volunteer. It's all there too. And who knows? Maybe Malaya will put you to work with something. She'll come in and say, "Hey, I got your job." Good deal. But then again, the box is up and open right now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So it is right there in front of the Gonzalez Warming Center. What's the physical address of that place? I never get the
405 East 3rd Street.
East 3rd Street there.
And then the food drive is at, what is the address? Do you know to imagine that?
317 North Main Street.
317 North Main Street.
If you go downtown and you see a big sign that says Imagine That, and it'd be across the street from our side. That's where they're at. Come on in.
Oh, right next to Stellar's. That's what most people
That's
recognize.
Right, yeah. When you smell the coffee and go right next door.
Yes, that's probably us.
Follow your nose to the coffee and then go right next door. And that'll get you there, too. And then go grab a cup afterwards, but which is another great local business, Stellar Coffee. They're always, not only providing coffee and stuff, but I'm imagining you probably guys in your various organizations had a meeting or two at Stellar Coffee.
Oh, yeah,
getting
that
things
was
together.
That is our office space.
They are the unofficial community meeting space. So big thank you to them for being home to so many great things here in our community. So that's a great partnership there. So what's next for you? What is your working on? What's your next? I know you got something going on because you're just one of those type of people. So what's Malaya working on now?
Malia is trying to work on finding another place.
Yeah.
No, you're okay. I promise.
Okay. I'm bad at pronouncing things. I just Malia. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
but is it just does it find you or do you dig for it?
I pretty much try to go out wherever I can. So even if it's just picking up a park or something, I just try to find something that's easy and fun to do, what I can bring other kids out to do.
Okay.
Because a lot of the kids go out to the park and everything, so it's easier for me to be able to talk to them because they ask me questions a lot of the time. Like, why are you doing this? Why is this important?
So you do it kind of as hey, I'm gonna do something here and make them be curious what I'm doing and then invite them in.
Yes.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay.
I always try to influence the younger ones because they're our future. So if they help us, it makes a really big difference.
Well, and I hate to tell you.
She's our future.
Yeah. I hate to burst your bubble. You're part of that.
Yes, I am too.
But there's also a thing where you, being who you are, can make headway where Geneva or myself couldn't. Because you're up here. You're their age. You know what I mean? They just relate to you a little better.
Yeah.
And so they see you in action. It's going to be more meaningful than me or Geneva out there doing it to them. And so that's why that is so awesome, because you're leading by example. And that's the best way to lead, I've always thought. So you're awesome. Good job. I'm very proud to see you do this. And when I see women like you, it kind of makes me feel like there's some hope for our future yet. So
yes, because whenever I first started, it was only 5% of teenagers volunteering.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 25%.
Nice.
So I raised it up a little bit.
Good deal.
Yes, I like going out to the schools a lot of the time, too. Like, I've gone to NIMI, I've gone to Mesa, and I'm trying to see if I can go with other schools as well.
Right. Sure you're going to get into photography? I kind of get a feeling you might be going on to bigger, better things. Maybe photography is part of it, but...
Yes. Maybe a little side hustle.
I don't know. I'm thinking like White House. No, I'm just kidding. Well, you never know.
You know what? Think big.
To be honest, and all joking aside, no, the way you're motivated, I got a funny feeling we're going to be hearing a lot about you in the coming years, whatever it is, whether it's you as photographer to the stars or whether it's you just solve world peace. I'm not sure which one, but it's going to be something like that. So, but thank you very much, and awesome, congratulations, and we're so proud of the work you're doing, and we're excited to see what you get involved with next year too. If anybody has any questions about anything we talked about here, about Many Hands or the Gonzalez Warming Center, or getting involved in anything more here with the pantry box, is there a phone number they should call, or just direct them to the website or Facebook?
Yeah, to the Facebook page.
Okay, go to just the Many Hands Facebook. There's also the Gonzalez Warming Center website, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but if you just Google Gonzalez Warming Center .com. Is it .com? Okay. I just Gonzalez Warming Center Roswell, and it's the first thing that pops up. And there you can learn and read all about Many Hands, the facility, the hive concept, and everything that's kind of the vision for this. That's all there at the website there too. So good deals. Is there anything we missed? Anything you wanted to share? Anything you wanted to promote to get to your next thing you're doing? Anything while you got you here?
You can also contact Malia's Magnificent Moments on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. Is that your photography page?
No, that's my public page. That's where I'm posting all my volunteer work, where I'm going to be at and everything.
Okay.
And if they have any donations, they could always contact me
and they can
as
work
well.
it through there as well, too. And give that one more time, your Facebook?
Malia's Magnificent Moments.
Ooh, MMM.
Triple M.
Ooh. Need a third hand. Maybe nose hairs. Something. I don't know. Very good. Well, thank you, ladies. We appreciate the visit, and thank you for all the work both you guys do in our community. It's so awesome. You guys make our community much better. We're very thankful for it, and we look forward to talk to you next time about the next big thing. Tomorrow, which will be tomorrow. Yeah, you got off, but you'll be here tomorrow.
I'll be here tomorrow again.
I'm sure you got school or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're only 16. I know you're a grizzled veteran at 16, but still school.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 7:57. Let's pause for news before more news. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A public meeting to discuss the future of the Roswell Regional Skate Park is planned for this Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. The meeting will be held at the Roswell Public Library. During the meeting, the project team will share and discuss potential sites, park elements, and general information. The project team will also be available to answer any questions and receive input, questions, or concerns from local residents. Any questions, call 505-264-0111. But again, that meeting on the skate park in Roswell is Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. And we are learning of a bad accident last week that left a Roswell woman dead and her teenage daughter fighting for life. Crews responded Wednesday to the 4600 block of South Main Street in Roswell when a car crashed into a tree in the median. 47-year-old Maria Cristina Chavez, the driver, was killed. Her daughter, 19-year-old Destiny Chavez Fernandez, was critically injured. The RPD Traffic Division is continuing to investigate the circumstances surrounding that crash. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Get this. Around the world, children spend on average 6 to 9 hours a day in front of a screen. Just wow. I'm Kim Commando. Get ahead at work with my free newsletter at getkim.com. Your kids use computers for school, phones to contact friends, and screens to play games. Here are ways to get your young ones off their devices. First up, set specific times when devices are down and real-world interactions are up. Family meals, board games, or outings are great for this. Next, establish areas in your home where tech is a no-go, like the dining table or bedrooms. It's a simple move that encourages everyone to engage in other activities, like reading, creating art or music, and, actual conversations. Another idea, teach your kiddos life skills for their independence, like cooking their favorite foods and doing chores around the house. And if you just can't get them to turn off the screen, try a screen time app. Now, for years, countless parents and schools have relied on my free tech contract for kids that outlines the tech do's and don'ts. You can get it for free at commando.com/contract.
Hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump riding high going into today's Super Tuesday primaries. It was a landslide win for Mr. Trump in the North Dakota Republican caucuses. He gets the state's 29 delegates, having captured just over 84% of the vote. And then there's the Supreme Court ruling, keeping his name on the primary ballot. Mr. Trump applauds the High Court for its unanimous ruling.
They worked long, they worked hard, and frankly, they worked very quickly on something that will be spoken about 100 years from now and 200 years from now. Extremely important.
There are Super Tuesday primaries in 15 states and 1 U.S. territory, with former President Trump and President Biden hoping for more big victories. Hundreds of delegates are at stake. It's the biggest haul for either party on a single day. A Texas immigration law has been put on hold by the Supreme Court while justices consider a challenge to the statute.
Under the Texas law, state officers can arrest people suspected of entering the country illegally. Once in custody, people arrested can agree to a Texas judge's order to leave the country or be prosecuted on a misdemeanor charge. Migrants who do not leave after being ordered to do so could be arrested again and charged with a more serious felony. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A United Nations report documents credible allegations of sexual assaults on civilians during the October 7th Hamas terror attack on southern Israel. Around 1,200 people died. Some 250 others were taken hostage, many still being held by Hamas. The brutal attack triggered the Israel-Hamas war as Israel vows to wipe the terrorist group from the face of the earth. On Wall Street this morning, stocks are trading lower. The Dow is down 151 points. The Nasdaq off 171. The S&P is down 22 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Tech and equipment will be slashed in a bid to boost China's sagging economy.
One of the biggest challenges facing China's economy at the moment has been consumption and encouraging confidence in the consumer to go out and spend. So there are a couple of lines. He said, for example, favourable conditions outweigh the unfavourable ones and that China will surge ahead towards a great future. He's also spent a lot of the speech lauding the past achievements of the past year, talking about things like science and technology, progress when it comes to the environment. So that has been a big focus of his speech, trying to rebuild confidence.
The BBC's Katie Silva. And China's hiking its defense budget 7.2% this year. That's similar to last year's increase. At $222 billion, it's already the world's second highest, behind the U.S. Spending boost comes amid growing tension with the U.S., Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea, among others. Townhall.com. The plea is guilty from a Massachusetts Air National Guardsman.
Appearing in Boston's federal court, 22-year-old Jack Teixeira admitted to leaking highly classified military documents about Ukraine and other national security secrets while he worked at the Air Force Intelligence Wing at the Otis Air Base in Massachusetts. Prosecutors are calling for a 17-year prison sentence for the willful retention and transmission of national defense operations. Teixeira's attorney describes him as just being a kid and says he is remorseful. That leak raised alarm over America's ability to protect its military secrets. I'm Jackie Quinn.
A spectacular fire at a warehouse near Detroit last night triggered multiple explosions at Rock suburban Clinton Township. Police implored residents to stay inside their homes during the fire and the explosions. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hope your Tuesday's going well.
Indeed.
Clouds cleared off.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and blue out.
Kind of nice.
Kind of blue. Gonna be a nice day today. Unless you don't like 75.
How could you not?
And mostly sunny.
That's
5 to 10 mile an hour winds.
Room temperature on the outside.
That's right. And the winds are 5 to 10. That's
nice.
That's perfect.
That is fantastic. How's that experience been? Feeling the wind blowing through your lack of hair.
The bald hair thing is a little different on that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you really like experience the breeze more?
Sometimes.
You think?
Sometimes it hits different. And like if I'm like say I'm hot and I get some sweat up there and then a breeze blows through, it's like my head's chilled.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
I'm excited for summer Bald Mike.
Yeah.
Because Bald Mike was the first of the collectibles.
That's right.
And then there was Squeaky Voiced Mike. No, it was Squeaky Voiced Mike first.
Yeah.
Then Bald Mike.
Then Bald Mike.
And then, yeah. And then it was Bronchitis Mike.
All right.
Because it was Pneumonia Mike.
For a day.
Yeah, for a day.
And then it was back down to
Bronchitis
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait for Summer Bald Mike.
Summer Bald Mike.
That's a limited edition.
Yeah. Well, I got a cruise planned this summer.
That's true. You're really going to get some sun.
Hopefully. Mm-hmm. And I might ice skate.
Dude, you know what you need to do before you go? Dome wax. Like, I want every picture of you on this cruise ship. I want to see a shine coming off of that dome. I mean, chrome adjacent. I want Kim to do her makeup in the side of your head.
Well, it's pretty shiny right now.
It's shiny adjacent. That's what got me thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I bet full-blown shiny sheeny Mike would be something on that cruise. I'm just picturing you in a wooden button Panama Jack shirt.
Okay.
Holding a rum drink.
I like that.
Uh-huh. With your just sheen head.
Yeah.
Shine
Only thing I'd add to that is
so that waiters use your head to see around corners to make sure that nobody else is coming.
I can be that service. You give me a good chair and a right spot.
There you go.
Give me a beverage.
Keep the beverages coming.
Maybe a cigar.
There you go.
I could give me a cigar. That'd be
what
nice.
are the rules as far as like that goes on deck? Are you allowed to like have a cigar on deck?
I have in the past, and no one stopped me.
It's just anything that could possibly take out a cruise ship whilst on a cruise ship terrifies me.
Well, it's not in the boat, but if you're sitting on the deck out there,
I don't think you're smoking in your room.
No,
dude.
no. But I sat on the deck and smoked cigars.
Okay, well I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's no different sitting on your porch smoking a cigar.
Pretty different.
I mean,
because you're a vessel in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, but it's.
I think I'm going to miss out on a lot of experiences in life just based on the fact that I'm a fraidy cat.
Well, this is it. You don't notice you're on a boat as much. I mean, sometimes you do. If you're on certain parts of the boat, you do. Like if you, and this is from my experience. My wife's been on more cruises than I have. I've only been on like 2 or 3, and they're all been with her. She's been on more, but the trick is to get a room in the middle of the ship. not on the front or the back, unless you like the movement. If you do,
so it's exactly like the ride the Sea Dragon at the fair.
Right.
Your best experience is going to be right at the very
like
middle, so you don't throw up.
Then it's not as. But then again, and even if you're at the ends, it's pretty smooth unless like there's rough water,
Now,
storm or something that happens.
I've never been on a cruise ship in my life.
Yeah, it's a floating city.
To me, I imagine in the center of the boat is where all the stuff is.
No. Not necessarily.
That's how I always imagine it because it's like a mall concourse essentially.
Like generally speaking, your big theaters or the big dining areas are usually at one end of the boat or the other.
Really?
Yeah, because they usually take multiple floors,
right?
Because they're usually a couple decks,
and that sort of flies in the face of what you were just saying, though, because if you put them at the ends of the boats, you're going to experience the most turbulence.
Well,
Doesn't
and that's
that
what I
affect
said.
your meal?
Anytime I have experienced boat things on a boat, it's usually on a meeting.
Yeah,
it's because the dining room's in the front, and I've gotten and walked before. I'm like, whoa, it's a boat.
It's a quick reminder.
Someone leaned the wall
because
someone's tilting the floor on me.
That's the thing is it's like Vegas. They make it easy to suspend disbelief.
Yeah,
you know?
But to be honest, when it's smooth sailing on it, you don't notice that most of the time. That's only when it gets a little choppy sometimes.
Right.
The other, it's you're moving and you know you're moving, and to be honest, some of the best sleep I've had.
Oh yeah, because you rocked like a baby
on a boat.
Yeah,
and it's.
I can imagine
Put it this way, you should try at least once. I know it's not for everybody.
I will probably do it at least. I'll tell you what I want to do. What sounds like the best of both worlds to me is I want to go on one of the Viking river cruises.
Okay,
because those sound like paradise. Because you're going to places I'd like to go, like Scotland, Ireland.
Well, the
Wales.
things you're scared of, you're going to be more prevalent on that boat.
Really?
It's a smaller river boat.
Well, yeah, but
these are ocean liners. They're 3 times the size of those things. And size does make a difference as far as stability on a boat.
Okay,
the bigger the boat, the smoother the ride.
Right, but the closer to a hospital.
To be honest, the cruise ship has a hospital on it.
If the cruise ship is sinking, I don't think their hospital is going to be functional.
I don't think the hospital matters much when you're sinking, does
exactly. It? That's why now I'm on a lifeboat.
But the
river
boat is less of that.
You know what I think it is? I think I've watched too many of these ration videos.
Yeah.
Because like I've started to kind of like bleed over into survival pack videos.
And then so your logic is if you sink in a river, you can swim to shore?
No, if I sink in a river, I can jump onto the because I've seen some
you're
of
from
them.
Oklahoma, New Mexico.
Yeah,
you're talking like that.
I've seen some of them where
you
it's
sound like my wife,
where they sail down like canals, like they're like literally a city on either side. If it goes down in the right place, I could just reach out and grab a building.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Y'all New Mexicans need to learn this. Some rivers can't see the other side.
I know.
They look like oceans.
Right.
And the ones that the cruise ships go in are those.
But I've been
you
to the
ain't
mighty
going
Mississippi,
down
I
Tom
understand.
Sawyer Creek in a riverboat and you could just jump out be in the creek. You're in a river.
Yeah, but
in some parts it's going to look like you're in the ocean.
Okay, but now I'm in a lifeboat feet from we'll say a mile from either side of
these creeks and drainage ditches around here that y'all call rivers aren't rivers. Sorry, they're not. They're creeks. They're drainage ditches. The Rio Grande is Rio not great.
But you know what they have? What rivers have?
Yeah.
Bottoms.
So do oceans.
I know they do. But there's so much of that bottom that we don't know about. We know more about the universe around us than we know about the ocean underneath us.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's flawed logic.
That's terrifying.
You're the guy
down there
that feels safe in us.
It's their time down there.
You can drown just as easy in a 4-foot pool as a 20-foot.
You can drown in a spoonful of water if you plan it right. That's not what I'm saying. That's sort of the point.
What I'm saying is everything you're scared about is bunk. Because all the things that you're trying to rationalize by being on a riverboat instead of an ocean cruise is completely horse hockey. To be honest, you're going to feel, I did a Colonel Potter.
You did. I got
it. All the things that you don't like, you're not going to experience on the ocean cruise. You probably will experience on that riverboat. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. But I also feel like the experience would be a little bit more scaled up. Plus, it's like
not necessarily.
I don't really necessarily want to go to like Barbados or Turks and Caicos or like those. That might be fun, but it's like I want to go to like Wales, Ireland, Scotland. I want to go get back to me home. You know,
I want to do those too.
Tap into my roots.
And someday when I don't want to get on a plane to fly to Europe, or spend 3 times the amount of price I did for this cruise, then I'll go do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave out of Galveston and go down to Honduras.
There you go.
And to be honest, I like cruises not for the destination. I mean,
right?
I want to go to I've been to the Mexico part. I've been already.
Ports of call are just literally just tourist stops, and they always tell you don't venture off of this route.
Well, and like the Honduras one, that's a new one for me. So that one's new. But I do this because of all the stuff they do on the ship. I love to eat. I love to having the fact that I have a whole show 3 floors down from me while we're going to spend the whole day at sea. And that's the thing is one of the days, usually 1 or 2 days, depending how long the cruise is, you're a day at sea where you're just nothing but on the boat doing boat stuff. Could be at the casino, could be doing a show, could be, drinking, whatever it is that you do, that's what you do. And, to me, that's fun.
And it sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
I've never gone to a place where I've gotten to be pampered for a period of time.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and I like the experience. It's not for everybody. Some people, you get tired of it, or you don't. And
I just feel like I could get the same thing at a Sandals.
You could maybe. I've never been to Sandals. I'd like to go to one. I've never been to one, but you probably could. I don't know. The one thing is I get to see multiple locations. Like I'm in Mexico one day and Honduras the next, and I didn't have to pack up or unpack. I literally just got out and walked out, and that's the cool part. Like you get to Honduras, and you're like, man, these food and all this is expensive. I'm just going back on the boat and eat for free, and that's what we do. It's just great. So, it's a cool thing.
All
right, we got to do an interview.
Yep.
I want to go on a boat now. I want to sit I want to sit in a deck chair with a big floppy hat and do nothing. Read a book, maybe. That'd be fun. All right. We're going to replay an interview we had with Robert Sherman from Walker Aviation Museum. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it in today, so he asked me to replay their last interview that we had with them. So we're going to play that here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we're going to get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today, low to mid 70s on the afternoon high, and not too windy. That wind will stay at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. A few clouds overnight down to about 40, and then we will have a little bit more cloud cover moving in on Wednesday with a low pressure system crossing our area. No rain though. We'll be in the low 70s on the high, back to sunshine on Thursday and breezy. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 51 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 38%. Excuse me. Winds are out of the south at 5 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today. Beautiful day, actually. 75 for a high. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Looking at an overnight low of 41 degrees. South winds 5 to 10. Partly cloudy and 74 for your Wednesday. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 for tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 48 degrees. Southwest winds 10 to 15. Thursday, going to be windy, mostly sunny and 73, but winds will be out of the southwest, 5 to 15 early, 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour by Thursday afternoon. Friday, there is a rain chance, a 30% chance of showers after 11. Mostly sunny otherwise, highs in the 60s, 62 there. Friday night, our chance of rain bumps up to 40%, mostly cloudy and 35. And then cooler for the weekend, sunny, high of 57 Saturday, back into the upper 60s on Sunday, sunny 67 for a high there. All right, 8:19, we're going to take a 4-minute break, then we're going to play our interview we had with Robert Sherman from Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Artesia General Hospital's family practice providers support the healthcare needs of every member in your family, no matter their age. With locations in Artesia and Carlsbad, our compassionate experts offer a full range of primary services and can help manage chronic conditions, treat illness and injury, and coordinate specialty care. Whether you need a medical provider for your entire family or are getting on track with your annual checkup, we're here for you. Reach out today at artesiageneral.com/family.
The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop invites you to move on in and check out the fantastic selection of threads, fabrics, and patterns. Take advantage of a huge sale on Brother sewing machines. If you just want to tune up on your own machine, bring it on over for in-house maintenance. And with free lessons at the Calico Cow, you can learn from some of the absolute best. Let's keep the tradition and art of sewing going. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell, right behind Farley's. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Springtime is the perfect time to visit Martin's Jewelry and Gifts in Roswell with an unparalleled selection of jewelry and gifts for the season. Easter will be here soon. Celebrate with beautiful jewelry, medals, crosses, picture frames, and keepsake boxes too. Mother's Day is on the way, and Martin's can personalize any piece for a one-of-a-kind gift. Celebrate your graduate with gold and silver pendants, rings, earrings, chains, EcoDrive Citizen watches, and more. And with store-wide savings up to 50%, you can't lose. Layaway or right-away, spring into Martin's Jewelry and Gifts, 3301 North Main in Roswell.
Are you looking for something fresh, or are you trying to find that confident smile you once had? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and I would like to invite you to our office to experience a new kind of dentistry. We have the most advanced technology and a highly trained team to provide you the best experience possible. Whether you're looking for a bright new smile or just want to make sure everything checks out for the best, call us today and set up your appointment for your next great experience.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455. Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. The market side has lots of new and different items, including new sauces and noodles to enhance your Asian dishes, plus new snacks and more. And the restaurant inside Asian Market has all Nook's favorites from 11 to 5, like wontons, egg drop, rice or noodle soup, crispy calamari, and the best barbecue fried rice in town. Dine in or call ahead for easy pickup. And find Asian Market on Facebook for updates on open times and specials.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion. Unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Robert Sherman, back with us from the Walker Aviation Museum. Good morning. How are you doing today? Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
How was your New Year's weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
Yeah. It was kind of quiet. It was okay. Yeah.
Good.
I had fun.
Quiet New Year's, a good New Year's to me.
I had good Christmas. Went over to, we had a little neighborhood get together for our food. So we have a neighbor across the street that loves to cook, and his wife's a really good cook. So.
Nice. And you're like, well, I love to eat. It was a match made
So I
in
took the
heaven.
hard part. I just took the tea and the cranberry juice. And
All right. He's like, I'm in charge of beverages.
Yeah, right.
Well, good. Excellent. Well, sounds like you had a good time.
Today we've got some new things we'll talk about going on at the museum, a few new personnel issues, and the history lesson for today is on a B-36. And I timed myself last night, and it's about 8 minutes.
All right.
of history that we'll get in here before we finish up today. So
Perfect. Well, for folks that aren't familiar, the Walker Aviation Museum is located inside the air terminal at the airport there, and it is a museum that is dedicated to the history of the Air Force Base that once called that part of town home. Originally Roswell Army Airfield, and then Walker Air Force Base. And the museum kind of talks, kind of celebrates that period of our history. Also, during the Cold War, this area served as a home for especially those early generation intercontinental ballistic missiles. And so we kind of talk about the history of that a little bit too at the Walker.
yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mentioned that you get visitors coming in from the East Coast or all over, first time in Roswell, and you mentioned the Cold War, and you mentioned the fact that, for example, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, we had B-52 bombers, with atomic weapons, and we had 12 Atlas missiles surrounding Roswell, with warheads that were 130 times the size of Hiroshima's bombs.
That's right.
Yeah, so you kind of thinking about it, there's a lot of bombs sitting right outside our city limits.
That's a lot of hardware in our neighborhood, yeah.
So we were, I tell you, a primary target. The Russians knew exactly where Roswell was. And I just mentioned to them that, if you were drive up the north part of town and drive by and see Goddard High School, I said, you see it looks kind of like a normal school, but what you're seeing is the gymnasium areas or the administrative areas. But if you go to the classrooms, you go in and you go down two pretty long flights of stairs, and you're totally underground.
Yeah.
And they go, seriously? And I said, yeah, that was...
For that purpose.
That was built just about when everything was, about in the 1965, 66 time frame. So
my high school that I graduated from was also built in the 60s around that time frame, and same thing, designed the same way where, really? You had stuff above ground, but a lot was underground in classrooms, and it was for the very same reason that when you talk about Goddard High, same reason.
Yeah, so they kind of like brings home to them, like, you can say, we were key base, but then you actually see where, when they were building structures, like the high school, you actually built it underground had decontamination showers built in there and everything. That's all locked up now, but yeah.
But that was for that purpose.
Right.
If things went south.
Yeah. So I graduated from Roswell High School. I said, okay, so that means at Roswell High School, sorry.
That's right. It's like, you need to get out on that end. But that's always a unique part of history. But, of course, that's kind of where Walker Aviation Museum, it kind of celebrates some of that history. And then the people, really the big part is the people that called that base home and that area home. It's at a certain, certain times in their lives.
You could live anywhere in Roswell. You could walk outside or you out in the backyard working or front yard doing your yard. And it was definitely... look up in the sky and hear the noise of the bombers flying around and taking off and stuff. It definitely knew you were in a place where there was a lot of aircraft.
I think people that live base life or near bases, that was just something.
My wife, we lived, 30 years. She was married, and we were 28 years married in the air. She was in the Air Force. I was 30 years. But so she got drug around, and as she called it, and a lot of people call it, the sound of freedom. She misses hearing those airplanes flying around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was at Holloman, I could still hear at 2 a.m. they're running engines and
Yeah. Well, at Veal Air Force Base, the SR-71s would take off with those big afterburners with the flame coming out about 30 feet behind each engine, and they kind of go rattling over your house as it climbs out to get refueled at 26,000 so it could go ahead and go. It didn't ever take off full fuel load, but it would take off and then immediately kind of refuel at 26,000 feet and then go to afterburners and take off and start flying at 200 feet per second faster than a 30-06 bullet coming out of the muzzle.
It's pretty impressive. I'm going to get off topic just for a second, but I watched a video clip over the weekend where it was Navy, and the Navy guys were on the aircraft carrier out to sea, and the F-18s were doing sound barrier flybys of the aircraft carrier.
Oh, really?
And that was wild to watch. as the guys are on the deck there just watching this F-18, you see it go right where it goes to pop the sound barrier, and just, and then of course you know the sound and everything. It was really cool. But, but yeah, that's that. If you ever get a chance to see that, that's a cool military or any of that. Anytime planes popping off the sound barrier and all that, it's pretty cool. But anyway, sorry I got sidetracked.
No, that's right. I didn't realize there's about 33 pages. I know Wikipedia isn't always accurate totally, supposedly, but it's pretty good starting point. But I got several from different sources, but there was some interesting political stuff going on in the Cold War with the B-36 bomber and the building of large aircraft carriers. I'll get into that here in a minute.
Okay.
So.
Well, good deal. Well, let's before we let's just kind of talk a little bit about some of the changes you guys, some personnel. And
we've got
talk a little bit about what the museum's got going on right now.
Yeah, we got AJ Olivas is currently a security guard at the air terminal.
Okay,
and he works daytimes, I think Friday, Saturday, and he works nights Sunday, Monday.
Okay,
and he said he'd kind of like to come out, and he likes history, and he's going to be one of our probably host out at the museum, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday days.
Do some docent work out there?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. And we recently lost good old Ted. Ted was dealing with some issues with family and stuff. But he was a really good addition and big history buff. And I was amazed every time I got around him, he was telling me all this stuff that I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but he kind of threw out a lot of facts. I was like, wait a minute, let me take notes here.
Yeah. Well, Ted's military service, he saw a lot of things, so he was plugged in pretty well.
Yeah, and he was, security and intelligence.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff where you ask him what he did, he'd say, well, I'd tell you, but I have to kill you.
Yeah, most of us are like, our
Not
hard day
really.
was turning wrenches, and he was...
True. Yeah, we had, maybe we're going to get... maybe Allie Bishop and maybe Peggy Donnell might come out one day at the museums, give Bob Donnell and myself a break.
All right.
And as well as AJ Olivas, maybe in the February time frame. So
okay. And they're always looking for more volunteers if there's folks looking to get involved.
Yeah.
Obviously, mostly we think of retirees and things that have a little more free time on their hands, but
right.
But whoever has the time and desire to do it, we'd love to have you come out and be a part of it. All volunteer work. You meet some great people. If you're a people person and love to talk to people, then you might find this volunteer gig pretty fun because you get a chance to meet a lot of people, and you always hear cool stories because, especially in the summer months, you get a lot of people on vacation. They'll come to visit, like family and things, where maybe a family member served or their grandparents served here, or maybe they were here when they were little kids. And so you really get some great stories, and usually our docents are the first line that hear those and get to find out about those little nuggets of wisdom. So,
before we get much further, just a couple of things we just usually cover every time we have a get together, and that's again thank you some of the people that keep our doors open, and Pioneer Bank and Featherstone Development Corp. And Glenn's Furniture has given us some stuff. We have some large desks and stuff and chairs. 6th Bomb Wing Union Group gave some money. David Petroleum. Old General Murray that used to be here, he sent us a little bit of his loose change.
Yeah.
No, that's good. But anyway, XL Energy, we got our flight simulators from them. And Roswell Toyota, Aircell used to be a big supporter. And other individuals like Phil Cathy and Dr. Engstrom and Lloyd Hughes and other folks out there. So we just appreciate any help that we can get.
Absolutely.
And another thing, I just might mention who our current board members are. Like, there's myself. I'm just I'm the secretary nowadays. Allie Bishop is the treasurer. Katie Yates, Sandy Correa. Hope I pronounced her last name right. She's going to hit me. She's the president up until September.
Okay.
Well, starting until next September. Bob Donnell and Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Cloffer, Friar Jodek Nowaki, our priest, Catholic priest.
He's an awesome guy.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, Stephen Miller.
All of them are, but he's just one of those bubbly people that you can't help but like the first time you meet him, you get infectiously.
Doug Weiser, the manager for Cattle Baron. He's going to be our president coming September.
Okay.
Peggy Bolin, and we miss Doug Murray. But he still kind of stays connected.
Kind of emeritus.
And our new advisory board member is Josh Bookson.
Okay.
I bet I got that right. He's going to hit me. I think it's Bookson.
And he's a newest member of the board.
Yeah, he's on the advisory board. He works out at the New Mexico Job Corps type stuff.
Okay.
Not Job Corps, but out there at the college, and he's been very helpful and a really nice guy. So anyway, we just got a bunch of fun folks. So if you're thinking about you'd like to join us and be part of our group, we're really open for that.
Absolutely, it's a really fun. It's a fun opportunity to serve because you see some really cool stuff. You meet some great people, and really is just it is making connections with people, and that's a really cool.
One of the things that is like we mentioned to people when they come out. I don't know if I'd say half of our mission, but a large part of our mission is working with kids and with careers and what they're going to do. So you have kids sitting around this week don't have to go to school until next week. So I could recommend if they got a cell phone or an iPhone, they could steal one from your mom or something, or a computer. If they go to our website, WAFB Museum, Walker Air Force Base, WAFB Museum.org.
Yeah.
And if you touch on the education little area at the top, you can hit see little horizontal lines. You touch that and it'll open up and you say, touch the education part. And what you'll get is several things. One is when you hit that, you'll see what the program we have out there where we can bring ideally only 8 kids at a time, where we can put 4 on the flight simulators for about an hour.
Okay.
And the other 4, we show them about 13 or 14 different careers off of YouTube. However, as you go down there, you'll see some of those titles of the YouTubes that we show for careers. And on an iPhone, all you have to do is touch that, and it'll play that video for you.
Okay.
So you can kind of play all the career stuff that we're going to show you right then.
Yeah.
And also, if you keep scrolling on down, you'll get past a list of YouTube career stuff that we've listed that we don't use, but it's there. It's interesting. And it's a list of YouTube aircraft videos. Then you run into an area that talks about pilot training. And it's a ground school, and there's 38 videos of professional pilot training. That's a total of 12 hours of training.
Wow.
And I guarantee you, if you watched all those and you went out and wanted to become a pilot or something, you got a jump start on a lot of things because it's some pretty detailed stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, really good professional. Then if you kind of scroll on down on the computer, it's at the top. On the iPhone, these 3 photos of Bob Donnell out there with the kids, 3 color photos. Right above those 3 color photos is a little area that talks about STEM education.
Okay.
So it says comprehensive list of STEM jobs. You touch that, and you go to a website, Occupational Network Online. It's onetonline.org, which you can actually go just search for yourself.
Okay.
ONETONLINE.org. onetonline.org.
Okay.
Anyway, when you touch that on where those photos are, you get 331 science, technology, engineering, or math type careers that pop up. They're all listed alphabetically, and you just touch it, and you get pages and pages of information and stuff on the skills you need, the job activities that you'll be doing, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or if you just go straight to that website by itself, it lists 1,040 different jobs.
Wow.
And you just type in a job that you're interested in, and it'll either come up with that job or jobs that are very near what you typed in.
Okay.
And I believe the high schools here in Roswell use that website. But it's a really good website to kind of help you find out what you might want to do. You put in your zip code. It'll tell you where you can get training. And I think it talks about salaries and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, a lot of good stuff.
So if you're, kind of thinking about it, or if you just like, hey, I'd love to do that, what does it involve? You can kind of get your feet wet, start there, and decide, hey, if this is what you want to do and start the path to that, or okay, that wasn't what I thought it was. Let me think about something else. So it really lets you get your feet wet and see if you're into it without full on committing to the path a little bit here.
And that's something nice because people coming through our museum, we tell them about that. We give them a little business card that's got those, websites on there, and they're going back to Connecticut or going to Iowa or whatever. They can give it to their grandkids and they can look it up.
Well, even for folks that maybe you're not in high school anymore. You're a established
thinking, you know what?
adult individual.
I think I need a change in jobs.
Or they just said, you know what? I've always wanted to learn to fly as a hobby or pastime.
Speaking of that, did you hear that on the news last night? They were saying, which is a little ways off, but by 2045, they're going to need 127,000 more pilots than they have today.
Wow. Well, you look at the COVID world.
Because some of them will be retiring, of course. But.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. You look at the air industry world, and we talk, in the holidays and the delays and everything that's going on. And the major problem is they're all short staffed. They don't have the personnel and it's all levels. It's at the airline level to the stewards and stewardesses, to your pilots, to your air traffic controllers, to your maintainers of these various aircraft and things. They're across the board having less people do that. COVID kind of was that thing where the people that have been doing it for years kind of said, I'm just going to retire.
Right.
And so they lost that pool of people. They didn't come back. And so now they're trying to scramble to get new people in the industry. And you're seeing what's going on is they're trying to play catch up
and that's
here. So.
One of the reasons where we don't have a flight going to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because, you have limited staff. And, before COVID, if everybody's remember, we had a flight, going to Phoenix. We had them going to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And they were on the verge of maybe looking at United coming in to have a flight going to Denver. So now we're back to, one flight coming in from Dallas, pretty late at night.
Sure.
And then that plane stays here and it leaves early in the morning. So and then you have a flight coming in around
noon. Park
noon.
the plane every day, basically.
Yeah. So you have two flights going out of here to Dallas. So.
But that's the
in.
industry. So if there's young people looking for that place where they fit in or something that's interesting that they could, and here's the beauty of it, is guess what? Every place on the planet needs that line of work. So if you want to be here, you can be here. But
or an aircraft mechanic.
Yeah, or if life takes you other places, as I know what happens, you meet your significant others, and it takes you around a different world. How do you think I end up in New Mexico?
Right.
I met my wife, but that's that this is career type stuff that wherever
that's
life
why my
takes
wife's in
you,
New Mexico. She met me.
yeah. But wherever life takes you, these are things that will help you do well wherever you go. So please, and you could get halfway towards a pilot license without spending a dime, and it's all going through the Walker Aviation Museum. So please research some of the stuff that we're talking about here.
So right quick, I'll just run through a quick thing on a B-36 bomber.
Yes, 8 minutes.
Something like that. Anyway, 6 bomb wing medium was activated at Walker on 2 January 1951. And the bomber squadrons included the 24th, 39th, and 40th bomb squadrons.
Okay.
Initially had B-29s and then B-50s, or just modified B-29s. Later, in 1952, the wing was changed to the 6th Bombardment Wing Heavy when the new heavy bomber, the Convair B-36D Peacemaker, replaced the B-29s.
Okay.
And Convair was initially the Consolidated Vultee Aircraft Corporation, but also they built B-24s, which caused kind of a slowdown in the B-36. And this is what will surprise a lot of people. The B-36 initial design and development started in early 1941, prior to the U.S. being in World War II.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then people say, well, why was that? And the threat existed at that time that Britain might fall to the German Blitz, and they would need a bomber that could bomb Germany from North America in return. And this would be possible if you had a bomber that with a combat range of at least 5,700 miles to fly from Gander, Newfoundland, for example, to Berlin and come back.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, initial requirements turned out to be totally unrealistic, so the final requirements for the B-36 was the following: maximum ferry range of 10,000 miles, effective combat radius of 4,000 miles, at least a 10,000-pound bomb load, cruising speed of 240, 300 miles an hour, surface ceiling 40,000 feet above Nazis' anti-aircraft guns, except for their rarely deployed 128 millimeter. But later, the Pacific War progressed, and the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Army Air Force, increasingly thought they, at that time didn't have, Tinian and all those other islands. They might have to fly bombing missions out of Hawaii, so they needed a long range. Okay, the U.S. Army Air Force submitted a letter of intent to Convair, ordering an initial production of 100 B-36s before the testing of the prototypes were actually completed. And the first delivery was to be in August of 1945 and the last in October 46. Delivery was delayed when they moved, Convair moved from San Diego, California to Fort Worth, and that slowed things up by 120 days. When the Cold War beginning in earnest with the Berlin airlift and 1949 atmospheric test, first test of the Soviets setting off their atomic bombs, American military planners sought bombers capable of delivering very large, heavy, first-generation atomic bombs. They were pretty big and compared to today's, where you can see the Minuteman missiles, little bombs that look like you could put in the trunk of your car. And just
Right,
drive
yeah,
off.
you could pack a punch. Well, and you mentioned something earlier. You were talking like some of those jets, and they had 10,000 pounds of ordnance on it. And I'm like, if you think about it, for them that's a lot.
Yeah.
But in the big scope of things, to have that much plane to only carry 10,000 pounds, or just by comparison, an F-117. That's the one I worked on, so I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about it. But that has 2 bomb bays. It can carry 4,000 pounds of ordnance.
Wow.
That's that little plane.
That
and
little
that's
plane,
almost
4,000.
half of that ordnance that other plane could carry.
I know.
It's just to put things in perspective for folks on how different it is night and day now. So
Yeah. But that was what they designed. But when the B-36 could actually carry, I'll show here in a minute, was considerably more. So B-36 was the only American aircraft capable of attacking the Soviet Union from bases in the United States with the very large, heavy initial atomic bombs. Okay. And the first generation Mark 17 hydrogen bombs, which were 25 feet long, 5 feet in diameter initially, and weighed 42,000 pounds.
Jeez, you need the whole plane. You need to build the plane around that thing.
That's right. So defensive armament consisted of 6 remotely controlled 20-millimeter guns and a fixed tail and nose turrets of the same caliber. And the vibration when they fired those guns caused vacuum tube electronics to malfunction, and also caused all kinds of other problems with the aircraft.
Man.
So later on, the newer B-36s were limited only to a tail gun turret, similar reduction, like the silver plate B-29s, which were modified for dropping the atomic bomb in Japan. They just had a tail gun.
Okay.
During the development in 1947, there was a battle over funding. This is interesting, which was won by the Air Force to keep the B-36, causing the Navy to lose funding for a supercarrier to be named the United States. This was in 1947. In 1949. And then it became known as the Revolt of the Admirals when Admiral Denfeld, Chief of Naval Operations, was fired. However, the congressional media furor over Denfeld's firing and successful use of aircraft carriers during the Korean War resulted in the Truman administration firing Secretary of Defense Johnson and Secretary of the Navy Matthews and building the Forstall class carriers, which are similar to what the United States was going to be, carrier, and eliminating the fight between the B-36 and larger aircraft carriers. So they said, okay, we'll build the carriers and the B-36.
Gotcha.
The B-36 station in Walker was here from 1952 to 1958. And I can remember that because came here when I was 9 years old and left when I was 15 years old. I could watch it flying around. Basic description and measurements of the B-36, 15 crew members, later 13. Wingspan of 230 feet, almost the length of a football field.
Wow, that thing's big.
Length of the aircraft, 162 feet. Maximum takeoff weight, 410,000 pounds. A little heavier than your stealth fighter.
Yeah.
Cruising speed, 230 miles an hour. Max speed, 435. Service ceiling, about 43,600 feet. And some of the later models can get up to 48 to 50,000 feet. Combat radius, 3,985 miles. But it could ferry 10,000 miles. and it could fly for 40 straight hours. They had actually an area the crew could go back and rest and eat and stuff like that.
Right.
Not necessarily a Luby's cafeteria, but
right.
Yeah, right.
But that was pretty luxurious amenities for the time.
Yeah, and an initial bomb load now on the B-36 was 72 to 86,000 pounds.
See, that's a big difference.
And that's 4 times as much as a B-29.
Yeah.
I think it's like 10 times what a B-17. Anyway, engines often caused crews with 2 to 3 out of the 4 propeller engines running. It had 6 propeller engine, where it was those pusher.
Right.
Yeah, they had 6 28-cylinder radial engines and 4 rows, 3 blades, and the blades were 19 feet in diameter from top to bottom. And that caused some vibration. 3,800 horsepower each, so 22,800 horsepower total. And then it added 4 turbojet engines to help during takeoff or speed dash over the target. And that added a total of 20,800 pounds of thrust.
Shoo-wee.
So anyway, maintenance issues for all you maintenance guys out there. Due to 185 octane required for the B-36 engines that quite often fouled the spark plugs, there was 56 in each engine.
Oof.
So during the service, they'd have to change 336 spark plugs.
Wow.
And I used to think it was bad changing eight spark plugs in my car, but anyway.
What are you doing today? Changing spark plugs?
Yeah, really. Also due to the vibration and test firing of nearly 20 millimeter guns, a lot of the light bulbs that would shatter down in the Bombay area and had to be replaced. And due to the size of the aircraft, there were no hangars really available to fit the aircraft. And they were stationed in the northern areas to be closer to Russia. And so maintenance crews getting out and working on them outside, not in a hangar, really facing a lot of terrible temperatures.
Yeah.
Changing 336 spark plugs when it's like 30 below zero.
Yeah,
whatever.
And those things don't really work that well or they're a little angry in those kind of temperatures to begin with. So,
yeah. And so anyway, because it had 6, propeller engines and 4 jets, it was commonly called 6 turning, 4 burning. However, because of all the maintenance issues, the maintenance guys usually called it 2 turning, 2 burning, 2 smoking, 2 choking, and 2 unaccounted for.
Yeah,
that was a common
right.
state that maintenance guys were always saying. It's not 6 turning, 4 burning. It's 2 turning, 2 burning, 2 smoking, and 2 choking.
That sounds about right.
Anyway,
just for maintainers' mindset.
Maintenance guys had a little sense of humor.
Yeah, I know that world.
There were 3 engine fires and led to the loss of the first American nuclear weapon, which actually, luckily, only had a lead dummy core in it, but it still had the TNT, and it dropped off just off the coast of British Columbia in February 1950. And final comments, later models were again lightened so they could fly up to 50,000 feet or more, and the cameras could detect a golf ball on a green at 40,000 feet. And they never dropped a bomb or shot one thing in conflict. It just was there in case they needed it. And they would make their windows rattle even when they're flying at high altitude. And I can tell when they took off, they really made things vibrate because my mother hated them because it caused some of the vases and stuff she had on her piano top to vibrate off.
Yeah.
And
I imagine, well, here's the thing that really changed that whole philosophy and mindset is the ability to air refuel. Right. See, that's why these planes were bigger, faster, stronger. It was because they had to go longer, go farther. So they had to create these planes with 6 engines so they could literally drive around the planet without refueling.
Right.
And then they said, what if we design our air refuel where the plane can refuel while in midair? Therefore, then we don't have to spend as much money on these big hulking engines and things like that. We just hit. So now you see more
B-52s,
modern, the more modern bombers. They're
fighters,
or fighters. They hit tankers and things, so they don't need wingspans the size of Montana and 72 engines to get from point A to point B.
Part of the argument with the Navy and the Air Force was, they had that really big bomber that could go long distance with atomic bombs. Well, the Navy is saying, hey, we're going to build a really advanced carriers, and we can put attack aircraft on these carriers when once the bombs got smaller.
And that's the other
and
thing
they could
too,
carry
yeah.
atomic weapons as well.
Yeah, it's much more efficient.
So
to
they
bring
could
the military
just steam
to
right
it.
up to within certain distances from an enemy. And
Yeah,
they could,
it's like, for instance, which these are now older planes, but the B-2 bombers.
Mhm.
They literally fly all of their missions out of Missouri, Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri.
Mhm.
They hit tankers. Like if they're going to bomb Afghanistan or Iraq or anywhere in the Middle East, they fly out of Whiteman Air Force Base.
Yes,
they
sir.
hit tankers and they do their bombing, and they fly right back to Montana, Missouri, there, Whiteman Air Force
yeah,
Base. And
before
do
the
their
mission, they
thing.
could swing by Burger King and get a little burger,
Yeah.
and then in Missouri, and jump on their plane. And you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
really
that's-
long missions.
Yeah, that's how they do it now. And so now we go to the Middle East. Like if it's a B-52 or something, they'll park those there. But B-2s they always kept here stateside, and they'll just send them wherever they need them to go.
So they're secure when they're
and I
back home
imagine
and
these
stuff.
new B-24s are probably something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is how they overcame the technology to do the things they wanted to do back. How we did it in the 50s and 60s versus how it's done now. And but that's the reason. And there's these marks in the innovation of history that kind of change. And for aircraft, when it comes to being able to bomb anywhere in the world, that air refueling changed the game for that. So that's why all these bombers we're talking about, they predated air refueling and things, because they literally had to build it so the plane could go from here to wherever in the world and back on a tank of gas.
That's right. By the way, I want to thank Ron Lynch before I forget about it. He built our little bicycle that the kids can pedal, and the light pole comes on, the fan comes on. And also we have our 10,000 watt generator, which lightning moves up between two rods. It's called Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
And all the little kids love to come in and push that switch down. And then he just got through building a model of the Redstone missile with the Mercury capsule on top with a nice write-up.
Cool. Well, that's just it. We talk about, yes, we focus on the history and all that, and we want to get everyone to come and learn that. But please bring your families, bring your youth groups. If you have youth groups, you want to set up an appointment or a time to meet and maybe get a chance to get some of these kids. Like you said, you work really in groups of 8. It's kind of your strongest number.
Well,
as
when
far
we're
as getting
doing
ready.
the flight simulators.
Yeah.
Because we only have 2 flight simulators.
Yeah. But if you'd like to set something up for that, please reach out to go to wafbmuseum.org and shoot a message, and any of the board or volunteers will get out to you and get information back to you on this. But
yeah, we've had a science class out of the Catholic school here came to visit us, and we had a Boy Scout troop come with.
And if you're just young folks out there, anybody's looking, say, you know what, I want to learn more about getting my license and all that. Maybe I need to talk to them about getting some time on the simulators and learning some of these videos and more, start watching some of that. Please reach out, and they'd love to help you do that too. So,
absolutely.
Good deal. wafbmuseum.org is the website. If you'd like to make donations, that's a great way to do that. You'll find the Donate Now button there. If you'd like to visit and tour, they work around the flight schedule. So think about the right around lunch hour during the week here.
Right now, the plane leaves at 11:58.
Okay.
So we come in around 9:45 and leave about 12:20.
Okay, so get there late morning,
Yeah.
morning, and then through the lunch hour, and then you can come and tour the museum, and and come see all the stuff. By the way, you come hungry and eat at the airport. They got some pretty good burritos and what have you there at the restaurant there, and just make it an afternoon of it, and get to it's. I'm guarantee you're going to be really impressed with some of the things and stuff that's there, and the stories behind some of the stuff. It's a lot of times people end up going there just to go to the plane and get on their plane or get off their plane or pick up someone from the plane.
60% of the guys that walk in go straight to the three rifles that are on the wall. They have the World War II Russian rifle, the German rifle, and the Japanese rifle.
Guys, we're not hard to figure out. We're pretty easy but anyway, come check it out, come be a part, and come see this history right in your own backyard here.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, as always, thank you very much, Robert, for the visit. And we will see you next month. And happy 2024 to you.
Yeah, maybe get Doug Weiser to come in next month.
There you go. Bring him in, and we'll have some fun.
I kind of almost forgot about this coming up just right after New Year's, so I didn't get a hold of him. So he might have come in today with us, but we'll get him
in
for
February here.
Yeah, that's right.
Good deal. Thank you, as always.
Thank you.
All right, it is 7:57. Let's get you in your Wall Street business update. Quick break before news. Don't go.
I'm Rich Thomason. This is the biggest day on the presidential primary and caucus calendar. This is Super Tuesday.
16 states and 1 territory are holding presidential voting contests, and over a third of all the available delegates for both the Republican and Democratic nominations are at stake. In the GOP race, Donald Trump has 244 delegates heading into Super Tuesday, while Nikki Haley has 43. For Democrats, President Biden is not facing any serious challengers in his bid for the party's nomination. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Former President Trump easily won the North Dakota GOP caucuses, picking up another 29 delegates. He's also cheering the unanimous Supreme Court ruling that states do not have the power to bar him or any other federal candidates from the ballot.
I think it's a very big day for America. I think it's a very big day for liberty, and I think it's just a great day for this country. Again, I hope it's unifying like I think, but it's a big step toward unification.
Howls of protest from the left are countered by those who say that giving voters the right to elect the candidates of their choice is at the very heart of democracy. Heard quite a bit about communist China's struggling economy, but that's not stopping its military buildup. China is hiking its defense budget by 7.2% this year, which is similar to last year's increase. At $222 billion, it is the world's second largest military budget, just behind the United States. 5 people killed in last night's crash of a small plane went down near Interstate 40 in Nashville. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the deadly crash. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow is down 235 points. The Nasdaq off 275 points for a loss of almost 2%. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with the best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Heavily armed gangs tried to seize control of Haiti's main international airport, exchanging gunfire with police and soldiers. Harold Isaac is an independent journalist in Haiti. He tells the BBC that daily life there has gotten even more challenging, given the increasingly dangerous conditions on the ground.
It's a checkered reality. It's a checkered life. You have to figure out your commute, where you're going, how you're coming back. You always have to be on the lookout and try and stay put as much as possible. But in reality, either you are in a situation where you're exposed to the direct reality, or you may be at risk of being exposed to that reality.
The airport was closed when the attack took place. No planes operating, no passengers at the airport. It was the biggest attack on the airport in Haiti's history. 2 planes colliding midair above the Nairobi National Park. A smaller plane crashed in the park, killing 2 people. Townhall.com. A couple of people are in trouble in North Carolina. They allegedly poached hundreds of Venus flytraps.
The plants grow naturally in the eastern part of the state. Officers with the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission obtained arrest warrants for the 2 people accused of stealing nearly 600 of the rare plants from Boiling Spring Lakes. Stealing the plants is a felony. Wildlife officers responded to a complaint last month about 2 people digging for flytraps in the area. The two were stopped at a local gas station and officers searched their backpacks. Keith Peters reporting.
Alabama lawmakers facing public pressure to get in vitro fertilization services restarted are nearing approval of immunity legislation for providers. Several IVF providers paused their services after the state Supreme Court's ruling last month that frozen embryos were children under the state's wrongful death law. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Fearbles.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Now that Facebook is down, we're the official source for everything that you need to know.
That's right. I made the joke. Radio is relevant again.
Right.
Yeah, in case you don't know, go ahead and try to log into your Facebook page, or don't if you want to reserve the sanctity thereof, because you can still look at it for a second.
Some of you
refresh
can.
it. That's when the problem starts, because Facebook is down, Instagram is down, Threads is down, but nobody noticed, and that is because Meta, the whole parent thing, is down. They're dealing with
They're having a meta problem.
Yeah, meta problem, exactly. And I think it said over 200,000 notes have been delivered to downdetector.com, so
they should know about it.
They know about it. They're working on it. But what it does is it logs you out. It says your session has expired. Then when you try to log back in, it rejects your credentials. You try to I actually have been trying to change my password.
So don't do that.
But that hasn't been working either.
Hold off on trying to do anything right now.
Well, I went into panic mode because instantly when something happens to my account, immediately I think I got hacked.
Right.
And like last night or overnight, I got this weird cryptic message in Messenger from one of my friends. I didn't open it, but it was there still. And I was like, could it have gotten in like a worm that way?
Yeah.
But then I checked with my kid's mom, hers was down. I checked with my best friend Misty, hers was down. And then we kind of started going around the office.
Well, he checked with me relatively early, and I was like, "Mine's working."
Yeah.
But as soon as I refreshed, it said, and if I look now on the main computer here, Facebook, it just says you need to log in, and I was like, oh, okay. On my phone right now, I can go in and look. It will not update. Like I hit the thing, and it's not updating new posts or nothing. So on my phone, I can get in there right now, at least until my iPad. Because I reset it, it won't let me in on that one.
Right.
Twitter is working.
Yeah, well, they're not associated.
Or X.
Yeah, I'm sure Elon's.
So because I went on X and I saw a meme that said, "Here's everybody on coming over from Facebook looking on Twitter to see if Facebook's working," and it's not.
Yeah, the one I saw earlier was Facebook is down. 40-somethings everywhere are freaking out. And actually that's, if you saw SNL this last weekend, they made that joke perfectly.
Yeah.
They were like, how old is he? He's 48, and they go, so Facebook.
What is the name of the host of SNL? That lady,
the one this last Saturday,
yeah.
Sydney Sweeney.
Is she an actress or?
Yes.
Okay.
Actress, model, incredibly hot.
I have never seen or heard before of her until yesterday morning, because on Twitter, you would have thought the king of the world was the host of SNL, and her and her assets were all over Twitter.
Well, that's because
and I didn't even know who this person was, and I saw more of her yesterday than I've seen.
People were up in arms about her. Basically, every single skit that she did, every single character that she played was basically a one-note character.
Okay.
There's some pretty good notes, but you know.
Well, you play the hits.
Exactly.
Right?
Or the other ones were basically that she was, you know, trying to like basically being promiscuous, and it was all those things. There was a sketch which I actually thought was really funny right in the middle. So if you don't know or don't follow SNL,
I mean, I haven't watched SNL in years.
Bowen Yang is one of the cast members of SNL.
I have
Bowen
no
Yang
idea who that
is very, very openly gay.
Okay.
And the sketch is basically Bowen straight. He just plays the gay thing up for the show.
It's kind of funny.
It was really funny, actually, because basically it's just Bowen you're just like mowing through the ladies, and one of them is Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
But yeah, you wouldn't know her really from anything. She's a newer actress. There's a show that she's on that I could guarantee you would not be allowed to watch.
Oh, I'm not allowed?
Not allowed.
All right.
Well, unless, I mean, if wife looking over shoulder, probably not. But if you can edge out some time, there's a show called Euphoria.
Okay.
It's came out like a couple years ago. It's a teen drama series, basically about young adults.
What platform is it on?
It's on Max.
Okay.
And it is.
Now that you say that, I think
to say raunchy is like an understatement. It's
like a comedy raunchy, or
no? It's I shouldn't say raunchy. Graphic.
Okay.
It's downright like pornographic.
Oh, okay.
In parts. I'm pretty sure that everything is simulated, but it's pretty risque.
Well, what is the premise of the show?
I have no idea.
Like,
Is
it a
seen
drama? Is it a comedy?
It's a drama. I think it's basically about young people like 20-somethings doing drugs,
doing life and all that,
having relations.
Well, it's HBO.
Yeah.
And HBO, I hate to burst your bubble, kids. That's the formula for HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch any tentpole series that HBO has done, including Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And all they did, that's what they do. Sex
There's
and
a
violence.
reason. There's a reason.
That's why they bring you there.
There's
the
a
shows
reason.
are good and well written,
right?
But they go over the top with that to draw you in because they know NBC, CBS, and Fox can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that.
There is a reason that it was commonly referred. Game of Thrones was commonly referred to as Tatas and Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, it's, look at Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
They crowbarred a sex scene almost every episode of that show, and it was Tony Soprano, for Pete's sake. Like, you're like, come on, we don't need this. We get it. He's a mafia guy. We get it. We show it once or twice, and we're good.
Exactly.
Get the point. But anyway, so that's just HBO's. What was that vampire show that they were? Apparently, that thing was all sex and orgies and everything too. It was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
not True Blood. It was something like that, though.
I genuinely cannot remember that.
Yeah, but
HBO
that's
one.
HBO's.
But yeah,
model.
no, that's how they work.
What they do.
They're like, we're a pay service, so we're going to give you what you paid for.
So,
their younger brother,
so it makes
Cinemax,
sense.
is known as Skinemax for a reason.
To be honest, I got to know what the story is before I'm at an age where that doesn't a draw anymore. I'm like, you caught me 20, 30 years ago. I'm like, ooh, all right, let's see the dirty count. But now I'm like, how's the story?
Vapid and shallow.
So
but
I'm good. Let me give you. But now that you say it, I think I've seen like the little link for it on the Max.
It was
thing,
True
like,
Blood, yeah.
No, True Blood. Was it True
That
Blood?
was on HBO, yeah.
True Detective is the other one. Yeah, True Blood. That's the one. I was thinking it was. I got True Blood and True Detective mixed up in my head.
Shepard Smith's favorite show.
I actually watched like a half of one episode once, and I was literally like, "This is whacked out, dude. This was." And I tuned in to see, okay, what's all the dirtiness about? Let's see. And I just watched them like, it's not even a luring kind of dirty. It's just kind of gross, kind of creepy dirty.
Right.
I was like, it's not good.
It's not.
So, but anyway. So I guess if you're looking for something gross.
That's one of those weird facts I don't know why I know, but I do know that Shepard Smith, the former commentator for Fox News, his favorite TV show was True Blood.
Okay.
Because he used to always go on like rants about, the
Maybe
episode.
it's a good show. I don't know. I can't. I haven't seen enough of it to qualify it. I just seen enough to know that it's not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. You do y'all. But then again, there's a lot of things that are my cup of tea that none of y'all want to ever touch with a 10-foot pole.
It's true.
So.
And my tea changes every now and again. I've noticed. I'm changing teas. I'm in that tea changing mode.
I'm a tea purist.
Are you?
Well, I like black tea.
Are we still talking about TV?
I don't know. I think we went to tea. I think we're supposed to spill the tea, and we actually just talked about
now
tea.
We're just talking about tea.
I'm not a weird tea.
Do you go milk in your tea?
I'm never good at that.
Really? It mellows it. It makes it nice.
Maybe I'll try it.
Gets rid
You know what?
of some of the tannins.
Weirdly enough, a place I drink a lot of hot tea is on cruise ships.
Okay, we get it, Mike. You're going on a cruise.
Well,
always find a way to bring it back to the cruise.
I am. I'm going to crowbar it in. So I'm going to add milk to a tea. Because that's the only time I'm going to have hot tea probably between now and then. You know, because I drank a bunch when I had No Talking Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And No Talking Mike's kind of tired of hot tea. And I was like, I'm good. I don't do it all the time.
Said thanks.
But sometimes when I get in a world where everyone's drinking coffee and I feel like I need to fit in, I'll get tea.
There you go.
So that's what I do.
Bev.
Yeah. So I'll get a tea.
This is a weird break, man.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Never mind. I was going to say something. I'm just kill that horse while it's done. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. Then here in just a few minutes, we're going to have Jason Burke join us. I'm not sure if he's brought others with him, but with VFW Post 12184. And we'll get an update from them, of course. But they're getting ready to gear up for their second annual golf tournament. So they're in the planning stages of getting that all going. So now's the time to get in on that for this year. So Jason will give us an update there. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a gander at your weather. It's going to be nice till later in the week, then not so nice.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today, low to mid 70s on the afternoon high and not too windy. That wind will stay at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. A few clouds overnight down to about 40, and then we will have a little bit more cloud cover moving in on Wednesday with a low pressure system crossing our area. No rain though. We'll be in the low 70s on the high, back to sunshine on Thursday and breezy. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 32% with winds out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Nice day today, mostly sunny, 75 for a high with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 41 degrees with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, another nice day, partly cloudy, 74 for a high tomorrow. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 48. Southwest winds 10 to 15. Thursday's going to get windy. Mostly sunny and 73, but the breezes will pick up first out of the southwest 5 to 15 miles per hour. As with the day progresses, those winds will increase 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Thursday night, breezy, mostly clear with an overnight low of 41. And then we got rain chances for Friday. A 30% chance of rain for Friday afternoon, mostly sunny, 62 for a high, so a little cooler. Our chance of rain bumps up to 40% Friday night, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 35, so a cooler overnight too. And that's bringing in cooler temps for Saturday, mostly sunny, 57 on Saturday. Then we warm back up into the upper 60s, 67 under sunny skies for Sunday. All right, 9:18, we're going to take about a 2-minute break here. And then we will talk with Jason Burke from VFW Post 12184. Don't go away.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices, so come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
The University of New Mexico. It's the state's flagship, a world-class university right here in Albuquerque. Apply for admission at UNM today at unm.edu. That's unm.edu. The University of New Mexico is the university for opportunity.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from our Roswell VFW post 12184, Jason Burke back with us. How are you doing, Jason?
Doing great, Mike. How are you?
Good, good, good. What's your position with the post now? I know you're not the commander anymore.
Right, I'm the junior vice commander right now.
Okay.
That might change in April.
Got
whenever
election
we do
time
our next
coming up here.
elections.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
But I'm the junior vice commander as of right now.
All right.
Mac Dyer's actually he's our
I knew,
commander.
yeah, and we've had Matt on because I think he just took over as commander.
Yes, he's been the commander this year.
Yeah, about a year ago.
He's done a phenomenal job. So.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So excellent. So is he? I guess you'll have another conversation like, hey, do you want to be president another year? Or you want to go? That conversation's coming. It's coming, man.
It's coming. So,
but before we talk about the tournament, the golf tournament, and everything, just kind of give us an update on how the VFW post is doing right now.
So we're exploding. We're doing great. Right now, we're leading the state, the Department of New Mexico. We're leading the state in recruiting numbers.
Okay.
We're leading our division, which our division has like 250 posts, all over the nation.
Okay.
We're leading our division right now in recruiting numbers. We're over 180% in recruiting and retention.
So you're growing and really getting established as a
yes, sir.
As a full on. Full on post, but kind of where you got in the numbers and a presence now.
Yeah, definitely. We're making a presence. We're making our presence known here in Roswell, and actually, kind of all over Chaves County and
sure.
The whole area.
Sure.
We've had recruiting drives in Artesia, that were successful, and
good deal.
We're planning one in Ruidoso one of these days, and
she was curious. Outside of Roswell, who's the closest VFW post?
Well, you got Hobbs and Carlsbad.
Okay, so I knew I didn't know how far south we had to go to find another one. So it's all the way down into Lee County there.
Well, those three posts,
and Eddie, I guess, with Carlsbad, but yeah.
Yeah, Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs actually make up the district, District 7 of New Mexico.
Okay.
So we just had a district meeting here a couple weeks ago, and
good deal.
We're actually having our district conference here in Roswell. Coming up soon.
Nice.
That's the first time we've ever hosted.
I was about to say, you guys are getting big enough to be the hosts now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good news is there's still plenty of room for more veterans that wish to be a part of the VFW post here.
And that's kind of one thing, I wanted to talk about this morning. Of course, I want to talk about the golf tournament, but recruiting, there's I didn't really know a lot of this until earlier last year when I went to a state conference. They talked about recruiting and how important recruiting is.
Yeah.
One of the things is, like we just recently had our legislative conference up in Washington.
Okay.
Where Mac went to that.
Okay.
The thing about it is it's that 1 million member mark that's important. Okay. So if I'm in Washington and I've got my VFW shirt and my VFW hat on, and I'm standing in front of Congress, I'm standing in front of legislation, and I'm saying, hey, everybody, this is what veterans need. This is what we want. This is what veterans need.
Right.
If there's less than 1 million members nationally, then all they see is some guy in a funny hat.
Right.
And he's in line with all the other lobbyists and all the other people who
those
want to
numbers
talk to
give
a lawmaker.
You credibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When we have over 1 million members nationally, then my voice or the comrade's voice who's standing in front of Congress is amplified 1 million times.
Absolutely. And obviously, it gives you a bigger leg when you partner with other like the American Legion, because a lot of times VFW, American Legion, they're fighting for the same thing.
Exactly.
They're fighting for the same thing.
We're on the same team.
So it's important when you have more partners in the room on equal footing with the same backing power.
Most definitely.
To hit Congress or hit whoever they need to hit legislatively to get their message across.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. And And I want to ask you, since we're talking about this, because American Legion also is dealing with this same problem nationally, whereas we're having less and less younger veterans joining VFW, joining these veteran organizations. And so a lot of your VFW and American Legion and these other veteran organization posts are filled with guys in their 50s, 60s, and older. And they're awesome. We love them, but we need the 20, 30 somethings that are kind of just recently got out, or maybe served in the Middle East or some of these more recent issues, theaters. We need that young blood to come and be the next generation of VFW, to come in and keep the traditions going, keep the mission going.
You know, like the PACT Act, for example, that was just recently passed.
Yeah.
You know, a few months ago. The Veterans of Foreign Wars was instrumental in getting the PACT Act passed. You know, that has to do with like your exposures and stuff in the Middle East. You know, and so, and that age group that you just talked about, that's who that directly affects.
Exactly.
Us combat veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, that's who that directly affects. And if it were not for having at least 1 million members nationally, that may not have happened. And you know, and I hate to sound crude, but you know, you hear a lot of veterans running around, you know, oh, they need to treat me better. I need this. I need this. I need this. And I say, here, fill this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Join us, and that'll help.
Because
well,
the people, well, and to be honest, you're right. Because at the end of the day, the people that are making the most impact on getting that message across are VFW and other veteran organizations.
Yes, sir.
That are fighting that fight. And it gets back to that point. So if you're not happy with some of this stuff as a veteran, joining these organizations, even if you join and don't go to every meeting, but you pay your dues and participate somewhat,
it's $45 a year.
That gives them the power to battle in Congress, to when they come and they say, me and my 1 million members want this. That has a whole lot of power than me and like you said, some guys in the room want to do it. When you got them, and I will tell you this right now, all the benefits and the treatment and the things that we do for veterans now is direct result of organizations like the VFW and Veterans of Foreign Wars and American Legion fighting those battles and doing that. You know, why do you think the VA was such a joke? I'm not saying the VA is like stellar awesome, but it is light years better than what it used to be. And that's all directly because of VFW and American Legion and Veterans of Foreign Wars and all these other veteran organizations standing up fighting for that.
Well, exactly. If we stand around with our hands in our pockets and complain about what we think we need and what we want, then nothing's going to happen.
Absolutely.
We have to get it ourselves.
Right.
We have to fight for it.
But the other branch of VFW is the local level side. And that's where a lot of folks, and that's where a lot of the nuts and bolts work is happening. Because, and this is something every veterans organization in this community kind of partners up with a little bit. When there's vets in need in town, there's a chain, there's a circle. Jason's in it and our guys are in it, and we all call each other and say, hey, we got a vet coming to town that needs help here. Can you guys help? Now we're a little strapped, but we can help, or whatever. And so between our veterans organizations, we try to take care of that stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's really where the other side of VFW is when they're not, you know, fighting in Congress and doing that, we're here locally helping veterans or being involved in veterans things, whether it's the parade, whether it's helping a veteran because their home is dilapidated or they've got financial issues, or we got veterans that they have no idea about their benefits and VA stuff. VFW comes in and gets those people, you know, what they need.
You know, and that's not uncommon. You know, I get phone calls quite frequently from veterans just traveling through. Hey, I'm traveling through. I need gas. I'm traveling through. I need a hotel room for the night.
Yeah.
And so I've got over 100 people on this phone. They're all VFW. They're all local VFW members. I can text them and I can call them.
You pull your resources.
Got a veteran coming through. What can we do for him?
Yeah.
He needs $100. He needs $500. He needs $200. Needs a tank of gas. And that's what we do.
Yep.
That's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just the small things like that, and like the big things like going to Washington D.C.
Yeah, exactly. That's really what and then you get involved with the community in various things.
Exactly.
You know? And that's what it is. It's a service organization. However, and this is kind of and this is with all vetch organizations. We embrace the social side of it as much because to us that's important. I'm not even talking about because some VFW they have bars and things, and some do, some don't, and all that, and that's great. But the camaraderie part, that's universal.
Absolutely.
And because and this is something, and this is a veterans thing. I'm sorry, veterans can identify their own. They know veterans. They know how they kind of. As soon as you meet someone and they say I'm a veteran, there's an instant understanding of certain things that it's hard to understand that moment unless you've experienced it. Law enforcement, first responders, they also feel it, but military's the same. It's the same thing. It's just you've seen things, you've done things, may or may not been savory or just something that you did, and the people that served any length of time in the United States military, whether it's the Navy, the Army, whatever, Coast Guard, don't matter. There's a certain just mindset that's there. And,
yes, sir.
And so sometimes veterans don't feel comfortable talking with people that don't understand.
Oh, absolutely
that
not.
kind of thing. And so that's where your VFW is a great resource to say, hey, here's a group of guys, we're just hanging together and we get each other.
Yep.
And so when the world doesn't get us, we get each other.
Yes, sir.
And that's a big part of VFW. So if you're looking for that social side, as a veteran, I invite you to come check out the VFW post and come if you're looking for that connection of more people that, quite frankly, like to do the things you do sometimes.
Most definitely.
You're going to find a lot of common ground through the VFW.
And I'll tell you, I'll throw this out there. Like I said, we're recruiting and we are leading the state. And to me personally, this is kind of a passion of mine. I personally, I'm leading the state right now as an individual recruiter.
Nice.
And I'm not doing it to get my numbers up. I'm not doing it to say, hey, everybody, look at me. I'm doing it because
not doing it for the watch at the end or whatever.
Exactly. No. Right. But I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it. It's a passion of mine.
Well, you're looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
Like you said, when you started this conversation, is we need 1 million people to make this strong, and that's the goal.
That and nothing breaks my heart more than to seeing a fellow brother or sister who served in a combat zone alone with no help, with nowhere to turn to, nobody to talk to.
Yep.
And
that person risked their lives so you can enjoy the things you have today.
That's why we're doing
They sat in a bucket of crap for you.
Yeah.
And that's why we owe them.
Exactly. And who better to reach out to than your fellow veterans?
Absolutely.
So.
And they get it because they sat in the bucket of crap with you, and they know what it's like in the bucket of crap. And so I know I'm saying it a lot, but I can't say what I want to say.
I hear you. That's a veteran thing too. We gotta bite our tongue from time to time.
Yeah, that's why we have so many acronyms.
Yeah, but hey, just real quick, if I'm gonna make a deal with everybody, if you text me 575-910-1860, you send me a text message and say, hey, I heard you on the radio this morning. I want to join the VFW. Now, eligibility, combat zone or South Korean service. That's in a nutshell.
Yeah, all Jason needs is your DD-214, and he can tell you if you're eligible or not. Yeah.
And you want to join, the first person to say that they heard me on the radio and they're eligible to join, I will pay for their first year's membership.
Nice.
Okay. Like I said, 575-910-1860.
Yeah. Give them a call here in about 20, 30 minutes. Let me finish the radio interview first.
Text are better. I sit at my desk all day and I'm staring at a computer, so it's kind of hard to answer the phone sometimes.
Sure. You do have a job to do.
Also working on our auxiliary. We are trying to get our auxiliary going. We've got some people signed up.
So need enough, almost got enough to kind of form a full official auxiliary.
And we've got registration forms. Again, you can text me if you're interested in that. To be a member of the auxiliary, you got to have an immediate family member who has served in a combat zone.
Okay.
Or South Korean service. Basically, if your family member is eligible to join the VFW, then you're eligible to join, and that's mother, father, brother, son, sister,
spouse,
grandparent, spouse. And even step grandparents, step spouses, step children, and those qualify as well.
And auxiliary male members also qualify.
Yes,
too. That's something, because a lot of times most people think auxiliaries for women.
It is commonly associated with that.
But here's the deal: there are a lot of women veterans.
There are a lot
of
more
female
now.
veterans.
A lot more now than there were 50 years ago.
And so, guess what? Their spouses are males.
Yes, sir.
So guess what? And here's the thing: you can kind of dual it. if you're married to a military veteran, because that does happen from time to time, then both of y'all can be auxiliary and...
Well, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore? Okay.
Dual membership is no longer allowed.
Okay, so you're one or the other. I got you.
But, speaking of dual, I mean, for every one veteran, there's a mother, a father, a brother, and a sister, and a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, theoretically, that auxiliary should just be huge.
Yeah.
There for every one veteran, there's 10 people who supported us while we were overseas.
And trust me, understanding what auxiliaries do and things like it, it's a huge asset to the VFW.
Very big asset.
It is, because especially it allows you guys to do more community-minded stuff. That's where the auxiliary generally has the personnel, the time, and the ability, where sometimes the Legion or the VFW post doesn't necessarily have the power to do that.
Exactly.
And so it's awesome to see that the auxiliary side of it, because that really does open the door for the VFW to do that much more here. So any relatives, spouses of active duty or retired or served active duty, military, honorably, reach out to Jason, and we'll get that process started too. But like you said, call Jason here. Like I said, wait till after 10 so you get off the radio, and then give him a call, and let's get you signed up here, and come on now. You guys meet on Thursdays. At the last Thursday?
The last Thursday of every month at Grace Community Church.
Yeah.
At 7:00.
So if you want, we just missed it. It's March, but here in a couple weeks, if for whatever reason you don't get a chance to call, come to the next meeting. Come and talk, see what it's all about, or if you want to see what the VFW post is a little bit about before you join, come on out to their. Like I said, it'll be that last Thursday of the month. Come on out to Grace Community Church and come see what the post's all about, and see. Come meet all the members and our soon-to-be auxiliary folks that are going to be there and everything else.
We're growing.
Good deal.
We're doing amazing things.
Good deal. Well, the other thing we want to put on people's radar is the VFW Post had their first annual golf tournament about a year ago, and it was a big success.
It was huge.
Raised a lot of money for a great organization up in the mountains there in Rio Doso that help veterans and people with PTSD. That's obviously helped the VFW Post, but that was the other organization that benefited greatly from that last golf tournament. So it was such a big success, we now call it the annual. So here's our next one coming up here.
So last year was so successful. I don't remember the exact numbers, but we raised a whole bunch of money, a ton of money, and then we gave about 30% of what we raised to Healing America's Heroes.
Healing America. I couldn't remember the name of the organization, but it's a great organization.
Yeah. This year, we're going. What we're doing is we're trying to establish a post home.
Gotcha.
Okay. We need a place to meet.
Okay.
Like I said, Grace Community Church has just been phenomenal these last couple of years.
But you're kind of outgrowing it, huh?
We're getting there.
Good. That's a good problem to have.
Exactly. We're getting there. We're outgrowing it in terms of, fundraising, in terms of projects, and, and we need a place.
And Grace Community Church is such a generous facility that
very generous.
They provide their home to so many other organizations too. So I get it. Sometimes it probably gets a little crowded, and a little busy over there, and you need to kind of spread your wings a little bit.
It does.
So,
and so big thanks to Grace Community Church. They're just amazing. Pastor Rick Hale out there, he's such a generous guy for letting us, and he lets us use like one of the biggest rooms too, that we use out there.
Yeah, they're a pillar in our community.
Absolutely.
Church. They do so many great things.
So this golf, what we want to do is we want to build a home, like you talked about camaraderie earlier. The veterans, what a post home would do for us, a building that we could call ours. That would give us a place to go. That would give us a place to hang out.
Sure.
And then later on down the road, depending on licensing, and zoning,
absolutely,
have a couple beers together and just be together.
Sure.
We're not going to sit around and talk about war because we don't have to do that. We already know
got
the
your
story.
fill of that one.
Yeah. We know the stories, but just be with like-minded people.
Sure.
Place to get together,
absolutely,
place to.
Well, and two, the other thing is as a VFW post, you acquire things. You know what I mean?
We're doing that. We've already had to change storage units.
and at some point, the church is like, you can't put all this stuff here. We need to get, and so you need your own place to keep your stuff, to have a meeting place. I get it. That's yes, church is so awesome and generous, but at the end of the day, the idea is to be too big for that. And,
It is.
and to have your own place.
That's
so,
what we
So
want.
this is
And-
all progress and a good thing going in a good direction. So
So that's what this golf tournament.
It's raise money
You know,
to get your own
raise money.
facility.
And, and we're going to get our own facility. And of course, too, some of the other money, we're going to use it for, again, community projects, for our scholarship programs,
Yeah.
for our law enforcement
Investing back in the
recognition.
community.
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
going to take some of that, we're going to take a large chunk of that money that you guys give us, and we're going to put it right back into the community, and it's going to stay right here in Roswell.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to spread it all over the United States.
Sure.
It's not going to go to any political group.
Right.
No, it's going to
Just
stay
benefiting veterans
right
in the
here.
community here in Roswell.
Exactly.
too.
Veterans and veterans' families.
Yeah.
So but on this golf tournament, we're looking for sponsors. We need some sponsors, and just like last year, we've got several different levels of sponsorship. We got the 3 main levels, which is a Medal of Honor, Navy Cross, and Bronze Star.
All right.
Your Medal of Honor, that's a $2,500 sponsorship. Navy Cross is a $2,000 sponsorship, and Bronze Star is a $1,500 sponsorship. All 3 of those sponsorships, when you sign up, you get a team.
Gotcha.
A team of 4.
So have 4 good golfers when you sign up for that, or
Yeah.
4 good people that like to play
Have
golf.
4
you don't
golfers.
have to be good. Just be
you don't have to be good.
You just have to like it.
we're just out there.
It's
having
just whacking
fun.
the ball. It's a fun tournament.
Exactly.
You can make it as competitive as you want, or as casual as you
You're
want.
not going to win a Corvette.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to get something. You're going to get a prize. You're going to get something.
Hey, and all I'm saying is veterans are fun people to hang out with.
That's what we're doing.
We're pound for pound the best joke tellers in
Yep.
all of humanity.
Definitely. Oh, absolutely. And we've got other levels of sponsorship. You can sponsor a hole. You can sponsor. I got the list. I'm not going to
Like a
read
tee
everything.
box or
Yeah, you can sponsor a hole. You can sponsor a longest drive. The practice. You can sponsor the practice green.
Nice.
And those sponsorships. Not only do they come with those first 3 sponsorships. Not only do they come with teams, but like for example, your Medal of Honor. You're going to get a table for 8 at the well, I guess it's called a reception.
I gotcha.
At the
Read
reception.
food and mingle and all that good stuff.
Exactly. And it's going to be delicious food. It's going to be from Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, nice.
We're talking ribeye and chicken.
Oh, say, can't go wrong with steak and chicken.
Exactly.
And they're very good at cooking a lot of steak
they
at one
make
time.
good steak. I'm going to tell you about Texas Roadhouse a little bit more here in a
Yeah,
minute.
you guys just had a fundraiser there.
Yeah.
But last week, I think
It was last week. It was a dine to donate.
Yeah.
And,
Did you have a good night?
It was a good night. It
Yeah.
was very nice.
Good, good.
And again, huge thank you to Texas Roadhouse and their staff out there. They were very accommodating. They're very friendly people.
Yep.
And-
They again, another community-minded business that's doing great things.
Exactly. So we love Texas Roadhouse, and as a matter of fact, they invited us to come back once a month for the rest of the year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
Huge.
put steak on your menu for once a month. For the
There
next
you
of
go.
the year.
Come get some steak, and
nice.
they
They do a barbecue if you're not into at our burger.
Oh yeah,
and
they
stuff,
have
too.
everything.
Don't want steak.
They even have good chicken. I tried their chicken.
They do.
once.
They do.
It was delicious.
I sample a little bit of everything there.
Yep.
But I'm a beef tip guy.
I love-
Sometimes that's a go-to for me. I just go right to the beef tips.
I'm a ribeye person.
Oh, I love them
a
too.
good
But some
ribeye.
days I'm just like, I want the mushrooms and the onions and all that.
Oh, absolutely. But so yeah, that's what your team's going to come with. That Medal of Honor. You get
good deal.
You get the Medal of Honor level. You get a table for 8, and then there's also, and also too, all levels of sponsorship is going to have some level of advertising. If you sponsor a green or we're going to, there's going to be a little sign there saying,
Sure.
thank you to this business or individual.
And we'll mention all the promotions, like
Exactly.
when Jason comes back on the radio to invite people about it. Hey, big thank you to
Most
Business
definitely.
X and Business Y
Yeah.
for being sponsors this year.
It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on LinkedIn. It's going to be, we have a homepage now, VFW12184.org.
Very good.
That's our webpage.
Okay.
So it's going to be there. And then of course, the higher level sponsorship, the bigger your sign's going to be. You're going to have a lot of free, we're going to do some free advertising.
Yeah.
And also, there's
Plus, you're helping veterans in our community and helping our community.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's the good thing is every dime you go out there whacking balls and eating copious amounts of steak, that is helping to our veterans in our community and helping this VFW post take the next level to keep helping veterans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So Come out and have fun. When is the tournament weekend?
The tournament is going to be May 17th and 18th. Now, it's going to be at 2 different courses.
Okay.
It's going to be at the NIMI course.
Okay.
And it's going to be at Nancy Lopez.
Oh, so both of our courses here in town.
So one day.
The country club, but 2 of the 3.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So Nancy Lopez is going to be at the 17th, and the Institute Golf Course is going to be on the 18th.
Okay.
And
so you can hit both. Do what, day 1 and
exactly.
Then day 2.
Like if you're a Medal of Honor sponsorship, you get. Yeah, it's Medal of Honor, and actually all 3, the Medal of Honor, Bronze Star, and Navy Cross, you get 2 rounds for 4 golfers.
Nice.
So if you get a team of golfers, they get to play both days.
And the fact that it's 2 rounds on 2 different courses means that it's 2 different playing styles, and it's not the same as yesterday. You know what I mean? So you gotta. Now, obviously, our avid golfers are probably very well familiar with both of those courses and know the ins and outs
they
of
can
them.
Walk them in their sleep.
Yeah, exactly. but it's a chance to play a different course on a different day and see, all right, I did poorly over at Nancy Lopez, but I do better at NIMI or vice versa or whatever.
I stay away from NIMI because I've got the most impressive slice you'll ever see in your life. And I'm going to, if I try NIMI, somebody's house is getting a golf ball in their living room.
There you go.
That's just
You wonder why Jason's standing in the opposite direction of where he wants the ball to go.
Exactly.
He's like,
I want the ball to go to my right.
Yeah. Why is he pointed at us?
He's looking right at me.
Trust me, wait till the ball does. It'll just zoop around.
It's weird. It's like he's like the Nolan Ryan of golf.
Yeah, I got a major hook on mine too. I go to that driving range out there, and I'm a lefty, so I'll get to the far right driving range lane. And I'm still hitting the net on the left side of the driving range.
Funny story here. When I go to I haven't been in a long time, and I just bought my wife some new golf clubs for Christmas, and we need to go break those things in. And when I would go to the driving range out at Nancy Lopez, I'd go to the far left side because I'm going to slice it.
Right,
it's going. So one afternoon, I was out there and I was just practicing away and. Man, I put some height on this thing. This thing's just started sailing, and I watched it. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's going right. A wing must have fallen off.
Right.
It's going right. And I'm watching the ball, and I'm kind of trying to judge where it's going to land. And I'm thinking it's going into that fairway. And there's some golfers in that fairway, and they're on a cart. And I forgot what to say. I'm like yelling, hey,
7,
hey, 7, stop. And so the ball lands like a good 6 feet in front of one of the golfers. Well, the golfers was my boss at the time.
Oh,
too.
nice.
So that was just funny. Yeah, but we kind of looked at each other like, "What are you doing out here?" I was on my day off.
Right.
So.
It's like, you better listen to me.
Exactly. But yeah. So
next one will be closer.
I am dangerous. But yeah, this golf tournament. There's going to be the live auction again. That was awesome.
So need donations for that?
We do need some donations for the live auction and for the silent auction.
Okay. So if you got items, whether it's, tangible artwork and things like that, to experiences like a trip, a hunting trip or a vacation thing, or even services like a free oil change or a free cleaning, home cleaning, whatever.
Anything.
Yeah.
Last year, we auctioned off everything from a carpet shampooer to an oryx hunt, or a boar hunt, and these experiences and golf experiences all over the United States. And
or if your business want to donate a basket of your products and services or
something
like that,
like a gift basket or something.
If you're say you're into home goods and things like that, you want to do a big like grilling kit or something.
Nothing is too small.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing's too small.
Or shoot, I even see at these things like people just put a stack of gift cards like Starbucks and various restaurants.
Yeah,
those things get gobbled up quick.
Oh, dang right.
So any of that stuff would be useful. So again, reach out to Jason and say, hey, I'd like to donate, and they'll take care of you.
Most definitely.
So, but I imagine, I know the tournament's not till May, but to get all this stuff locked down, what's your kind of drop dead deadline for sponsorships?
That I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I've got other phone numbers here we can call. I got Mac Dyer, Melissa Burson, Scott Pollock, and Bob Boland. These guys, they're kind of spearing the tournament.
Well, sooner rather than later, obviously. Don't wait till the end of April or May to be doing it. So do it now, but maybe percolate with your partners and things and say, hey, let's get a concession, and then reach out to Jason or any of the folks at the VFW there, and they'll get you set up. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Good deal.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of individual little contests, longest drive, beat the pro, this thing called break the glass that I don't know a whole lot about.
Okay.
ball drop. I think we're trying to get a helicopter out there.
Oh, going to try to do a ball drop.
Do a ball drop with a helicopter, an actual helicopter.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. You know, and if we can't do a helicopter, we'll try for a fire truck ladder.
Yeah, that's a
I'm not
good
getting on top of it. That's why I didn't join the Air Force.
There are guys in the military that did stuff like that all the time. Let them.
Oh yeah, I'll let one of them do it.
Yeah, let them do it.
But most of us put on about 50 pounds since
I know that. We can still get up there, just slower.
Yeah. I'm not coming down.
Right. Like, you might as well just send up some food. I'm living here now.
Exactly.
But it is going to be a lot of fun. So sign up your teams, sign up sponsorship. If they want to sign up as teams, they do it through you guys, or do they go to one of the pro shops?
So we have a website actually. I've got these packets here that have QR codes on them.
Okay.
And what I can do, like I said, that phone number 575-910-1860.
Okay.
If you want more information on it, I can send it to you.
Okay.
There is a QR code. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see the actual website on this, but no, that is where everything is.
Okay.
All the signing up is on the website.
So if you go through there and you sign your teams up, and if you're interested in sponsorships, you can reach out and they'll set you up with that too.
Exactly.
Good deal.
Yes.
But, mark it on your calendars here for May 17th, 18th?
17th and 18th.
At both the Spring River Nancy Lopez Golf Course and at the New Mexico Military Institute Golf Course.
There's going to be free lunch too.
And free lunch,
We're
free
cooking
meal.
that ourselves.
All right, yeah, there's steaks involved, prizes, fun, guys and gals out in a beautiful sunny afternoon, sunny morning, playing a little golf, having fun. And all of that. So we're asking you to come out, eat copious amounts of food, have a time whacking a ball, either wellly or poorly. That's up to you.
Doesn't matter.
And just come have fun with us for 2 days in May. And all of that will greatly help veterans in our community. So,
absolutely.
So we're asking you to help, but we're asking you to do it by playing golf and eating steaks.
Play golf and eat steaks.
I know it's a tall order, but
there's going to be beer too. So.
And beer. And drink beer, yeah.
And beer's going to be there.
So please help us. Please help us by eating steak and drinking beer and playing golf.
Exactly.
So, but and of course, if you want more about becoming a member, please reach out to Jason. Like you said, if you look online through Facebook, not right now because Facebook's down, but VFW 12184, or if you go to VFW12184.org, that will take you directly to their website.
We also have a LinkedIn page too. I run the LinkedIn page.
Okay.
Our quartermaster Scott, he runs the Facebook page.
Good deal.
So
I'm not too familiar with LinkedIn, so I can't tell you how to navigate that one. So I had a job and don't see a name to go get a new one yet.
Exactly.
So, so I don't fool with LinkedIn. If they fire me, then I might be a LinkedIn guy. But right
it's like being married and having a dating site or something like that. Don't do that. Not a good idea.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just don't. It's going to end badly. Yeah. Because especially, you come to work and it's like, oh, check out my LinkedIn. Why do you got a LinkedIn?
Why do you have a? Yeah. What are you looking for?
They have good recipes. But please come on, and of course, call. Give your phone number one more time.
575-910-1860.
And don't forget, the first person to call Jason to sign up. Text Jason.
I prefer a text.
Text Jason. I'm sorry. Text Jason and say, hey, I'd like to be a VFW member. He'll pay for that first year for you. Just got to fill out the application. Give him your DD-214. Yep. And that way he can tell you if you're eligible. Eligibility requirements for VFW are a little different than American Legion and some of the others. There are certain theaters of service that you have to have been a part of to qualify for VFW, where some of the others, it's just pretty much pre-Pearl Harbor or post-Pearl Harbor. You didn't get kicked out of the military, they'll let you in, kind of thing. So VFW is just slightly more stringent. But
a little bit more.
But good news is we've been in a lot of conflict over the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
So odds are pretty good. If you served active duty in the last 20, 30 years, you probably served in one of those combat theaters, even if you didn't realize what you were doing was during that time.
There is a good chance, and unfortunately, it looks like might be some more eligible members.
Exactly. There's the good news and bad news side of this.
I just can't wait to see what it looks like when a Space Force member is eligible.
Yeah.
What's that going to be like?
Yeah. I'm very curious to see. Because like right now, I'm like, what do they do? Like what
lightsabers? I
don't know. I don't know either. I don't know if they're just hanging out with Air Force guys till they get their own ships or something. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
Like what are they doing? Are they practicing to be astronauts? I don't know.
I have no clue.
I have no idea what Space Force does. I mean, other than the space, but like Air Force does most of that now. And I'm just thinking, do they just hang out at the Air Force till they say, all right, guys, We built you a ship. Go do Space Force stuff. I have no idea.
What's this ship look like? I mean, like, where does it go?
Oh, in my head, I hope they pattern after like Star Trek or something.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Go with something that people are familiar with.
Yeah, or a big Imperial cruiser or something. You know.
Plus, they do like USS Enterprise and all these other things, so they kind of name them like the military already does anyway. So let's kind of, maybe not call them like naval ships, but we'll go with a different thing. But something like that. But who knows?
But we love them just the same.
Well, I'd like to meet a Space Force person just to see what they do every day. I don't know one. I don't know anybody who's ever been in Space Force.
I could imagine there'd be some out of White Sands.
Oh, maybe there's some in New Mexico. I don't even know, to be honest.
There would have to be.
Yeah, I mean, we're full of space stuff. I imagine there's a few crawling around the desert around here somewhere, but I don't know. Very curious.
No idea.
Like it's like, I feel like they're like, we got a job, we just don't have the stuff yet to do it. So, till they invent our spaceship, we're just kind of sitting around here waiting for I mean, what do you do? Maybe they're working on the holodeck or something right now. I don't know.
I'm not too sure. Practicing their anti-gravity stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're working on the computer to make the Earl Grey hot tea on demand or something.
That was some Air Force stuff right there.
I mean, if we're going to carry it up from Space Force, because I feel like Space Force kind of begats from the Air Force a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
kind of like Marines from the Navy.
Yeah,
and
technically Air Force begat from the Army.
From the Army,
we were part of the Army during World War II, and they said we have more planes now. We give you your own branch.
Yeah,
but
get your own branch.
But we're all Air Force vets are a child of the Army.
Yeah,
that's what we are.
Yep.
And all Marines are children of the Navy. And actually, you're direct because Marines technically is not its own branch of service. It is a department of the Navy. Now, you tell a Marine they're not part of a branch of service.
Yeah, we better shut up, Mike, or we might get
They will
in
tell
trouble.
you differently.
Yeah,
but
we probably got some downstairs waiting on me right now.
Yeah, maybe. That's all right.
We love our Marines, though.
They're easily confused. I may be smarter. I am smarter. I can outsmart the Marines.
I hear you.
I've seen them in action.
You can outsmart me. You Air Force guys got all the brains.
But we don't. Our building is very particular. But anyway. Folks, come be a part. Come be a part of the VFW. Come be a part of the golf tournament. Come be a part of a cool part of this community and watch it grow and be a part of the amazing things to come with our local VFW.
Hey, and if you see my truck driving around, I got a black Honda Ridgeline.
Okay.
And it's wrapped in VFW stuff.
So if you see that guy, that's odds are that's Jason. He can probably help you out.
That's me.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to wave me down, stop me, whatever.
Yeah.
You
want to talk VFW?
You want to talk VFW? You just want to talk about it? You just want to talk. I mean, that's
or if you're a
fine.
vet in need.
Exactly.
You're a veteran in need, and reach out to him and or any veteran or any of our organizations, and we'll come to see what we can do for you.
Yeah, come on and see us.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, thank you, Jason. I'm sure
you
guys
Mike.
Get back to work and take on the various tasks and things they've left for you. And I know how that you leave for a day, and all of a sudden everybody's just dumping things on your desk. You'll do it later. I get that. But thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, it is 9:57. Let's pause for Wall Street Business Update. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Wall Street Business Report. I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened lower this morning as more retailers post results from the holiday season and ahead of appearances by Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell before Congress later in the week. Target reported flagging sales, but a 58% increase in fourth quarter profits, handily beating Wall Street expectations as the retailer cut expenses and maintained a lean inventory. Shares of Minneapolis-based Target jumped 8.5% before the markets opened. Costco Wholesale, Nordstrom, and Gap will all report their holiday results this week. AeroVironment, a Virginia defense contractor specializing in drones, jumped 17.5% before the bell after beating Wall Street sales forecasts and nearly doubling profit expectations. And the Biden administration is moving to cap credit card late fees at $8. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations, and he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:59. That's about going to do it for us for today's show. If you missed any part, I invite you to go back in your leisure, log on to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our videos there. I'd invite you to check out our Facebook wall. They're there too, but, Facebook's having a meta problem right now, so no Facebook right now. But go to RoswellTalkFM.com. You'll find them all right there. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and stream away. Have fun with it. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow. Take care.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden and former President Trump both look to solidify their re-election bids in Super Tuesday voting as voters in 16 states and one territory cast ballots.
Biden and Trump are the front runners in their respective parties, and that trend is expected to continue. But neither will be able to claim the presumptive nominee title after Super Tuesday's voting. The earliest that could happen is next week for Trump or later in the month for the president.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Political analyst Chris Galdieri says a Super Tuesday sweep by former President Trump would get him a lot closer to the nomination.
If we are at the end of the vote counting on Super Tuesday talking about how Trump has basically swept the Super Tuesday states, it's really tough to see how this ends in anything other than a Trump nomination.
SRN News will provide special reports throughout the evening and live wall-to-wall election coverage and analysis will begin at 5 p.m. Eastern Time at SalemNewsChannel.com.